Once again, you're all specially welcome to this Zoom presentation. It's my pleasure to have you all. My name is Lumen Christie from Lumen Chris Digital Assets Academy. It's a pleasure for me to have you all on this particular call. I know it came as so short a notice to some of you, but trust me, if you were able to spare up some time to attend this particular Zoom meeting, I'm sure you actually took a good decision. And be rest assured, you are not going to spend time which will be considered as wasted time. Why? Because I've got a good number of stuff to share with you all this particular evening, and probably I'm going to give you also the occasion or the possibility to get to ask a good number of questions and you get clarification also, because we are about entering into another phase of this business whereby a lot of people might not have time again for downlines. A lot of people might not even have time to go prospecting because there are just too many opportunities that are about to unveil themselves to us. So those who are going to be making a lot of wealth in this business right now are those who are going to expose themselves to information. When I talk of information, I mean quality information. It's not just any type of information. And that is what is going to be distinguishing a lot of people from the others. What will separate you from the rest will be the quality of information that you have here. It's no longer about the amount of money you're going to invest. Good enough, most of you are already aware that in this particular company, we don't invest money in it again. The company has put an end to any cash that is brought into the system. So you will never be asked again at any point to bring fresh money into this system to purchase whatever. Now, all the products and services of the company henceforth are purchased using the currency of the company, not using your USDTs or BTCs or euros or whichever payment method that we've had available in time past. So right now, the company is now beginning to make use of its own currency. So it's the first consumer of its own currency. That is the way it is creating a use case around the currency that it has, notably Ultima, Smart, and the rest, which we are going to be talking about. So before I get into some of the details regarding what we are going to be talking about this particular evening, all of you are already aware, it's now common knowledge that we are at the dawn of a new era in the crypto space. Now, this one is actually made so pronounced, particularly because we are in one of the most outstanding seasons on the crypto calendar, which is referred to as the bull run season. Most of you are familiar with the bull run season. Probably a good number of you might not actually understand perfectly what the bull run season is all about, but probably in the course of this presentation, we're going to be doing some, we're going to be giving you some insight on what the bull run season is and the rippling effects of the positive rippling effects, of course, of the bull run season for those who are actually participating in it. I'm going to be saying that. So please, like I said earlier, if you are in an area which is noisy, please keep your mics muted. It's absolutely important, please. Don't want to get this interference. Gambatis, please. You are in a Zoom. All right, so like I was saying earlier on, before I go ahead to share a good number of things with you in terms of information and maybe some pictures or videos or whatever form of the content, in fact, it's absolutely important for me to make this disclaimer. You have to understand that the content of this slide is solely for information purposes and constitutes no call to action. So do not feel coerced or compelled to take any action based on the information that I'm going to be sharing with you all this evening. You are therefore advised to do your own analysis and take your own decisions. Be a master of your own decisions. Let the decisions come from you, not because you feel obliged, to take a particular decision based on what I would have shared with you this particular evening. And last but not least, it's also important for you to know that part or all of this information or the information contained in this slide is susceptible to change by the company at any time it deems fit. With that said, we start getting gradually into the crux of the business that we have. Now, before I go into details, please please, there is something all of us need to be aware of. Probably some of us have heard it, but in passing or passively. I'm going to try to put, like some weight on the information that some of you must have received about what is about to happen to the financial industry. Some of you are, in fact, I can say a majority of the people out there are still very much ignorant of what is about to happen in the financial industry. There's what we call a paradigm shift in the finance industry, which everyone needs to be conversant with right now. Why do you need to get conversant with? Because you need to go through the preparatory phase. Something terrible is not a good thing. For those of you probably who might be listening to it for the first time, what is about to happen to the financial industry is not good at all. So you need to be aware of it, and then you start preparing for that particular period. We might be saying it, you might not actually be seeing it, or you might not actually be understanding it well, but trust me, it will not be too long from now for you to start seeing the consequences of what is about to happen in the finance industry. Now, just in case you are probably not aware of it, now I'm going to give you some details. It's already common knowledge now. It is everywhere. I mean, the news is everywhere that we now have robots that are in massive production. And most of these robots, are you even aware, you who is on this Zoom right now, are you aware that we now have house helps, which are robots? You have even medical doctors who are robots, meaning that robots are able to play the role of house helps. Robots are able to play the roles of doctors. You have robots that do consultation. You have robots that act as nurses. You have robots that act as cleaners, industry workers, self-driving cars. We have, in fact, a lot of systems which are automated. And these robots are operating using what? What we call artificial intelligence. We even have teachers now who are robots. You have robots that are capable of teaching. You have robots that are now farmers or that are able to operate on our farms, do everything that human beings do on the farms. In construction sites, you have robots working there. Shopkeepers, you now have the robots. I'm sure some of you who have been very keen to the news would have known that right now, as we speak, Amazon has replaced almost about 1/4 of its working staff working in most of its storage facilities. You go, they don't find human beings doing some of those things. In their warehouses, you now find the robots doing all of that. Now, somebody who sees that from a distance probably might not actually know what the consequences are, or the person might be thinking that it's something which is good. Of course, it is actually good, but it's not good for everybody. The person who is actually employing those robots, it is actually a good thing for the person. But you, who doesn't own a robot, for instance, it's not a good thing for you. How? I don't know what it is that you actually do, you who is attending this particular Zoom right now. Probably you're a teacher, you are a health, I don't know, personnel, or maybe you are an engineer of some sort, you're a teacher or whatever, a farmer, whatever it is. Are you aware that that job you are serving on, that is giving you a monthly salary, very soon you are going to lose that job? That job is going to be taken over by a robot. Are you aware of that? Do you even know about that? I'm telling you that you have robots that are serving as house helps. I mean, a robot that can babysit a baby, a toddler. You have robots that do that. So robots are almost everywhere. You have robots that even assist women to carry their, in fact, the fetus of a woman that a woman is normally supposed to carry. It can now be carried by a robot. So it means that a woman can choose to escape the process of, in fact, pregnancy, carrying a child. The woman can decide to delegate that to a robot, and eventually the child comes to life. Do you know that that is already happening? How many of you are aware of that? That already should start ringing a bell in your head to know that you do not have to keep depending on the job that you have right now. The era of jobs is about to pass, to be swept under the carpet, because we have the new dawn, we have a new era, which is the coming into being of robots. And the projections have shown that between now and the year 2030, all of these robots will be everywhere. You have a lot of companies that are beginning to import robots and substituting, labor force, human labor force with these robots. So what are you actually thinking? That should already start telling you that there shall come a time when there will be so many people who will go jobless. We'll have so many jobless people around. People will lose jobs almost everywhere. The worst is going to happen in the Western world. especially those of us Africans who are always fighting tooth and nail, doing everything possible to make sure that we cross to the other side because we think it's greener there. Trust me, it is just a matter of time. The tides are going to change. A lot of people over there are going to start losing their jobs. To who? To robots. Chinese are already in the massive production of these robots. Do you know that? Elon Musk is actually the person championing all of this. But you know, Chinese, when it comes to mass production, they are very good at that. So the projection shows that between now and the year 2030, there are going to be robots spread everywhere across the globe in almost all the areas. I know some of you listening to me now might be saying that, of course, that one will only happen in the Western world. In Africa here, we are still very far away from that, even if it has to come. Trust me, it is just a matter of time. It's going to get here. As a matter of fact, as we speak, do you know that some of those robots are already in Africa here? Go to some of these African nations, go to their airports, you will find robots already doing some work. There are robots already around some airports, even in some facilities. They're already employing the services of robots. Are you actually aware of that? Now, that is the first problem that is about to happen to the world. That is the first one. To the finance industry, to be very precise. Now, the second one, which many people are still not seeing as well, even though sometimes in our presentations, people often mention it, but it's like some people still don't understand, what this actually means. That is CBDC, what they call central bank digital currencies. What are central bank digital currencies? That is to tell you that, please, just in case you have not known this before now, hear it now and hear it well. Time is coming. As a matter of fact, the time is already very, very close, where we will no longer be dealing with physical money. It means that the fiat money that we are making use of, you will no longer be carrying coins around. You will no longer be moving around with banknotes. All of those are going to be substituted with digital versions. It means that they are going to give you the digital equivalents of those ones. That is what they call central bank digital currencies, meaning that those digital currencies are going to be issued to you by central banks. Of course, the same central banks that are out to, or rather, the same central banks that issue the same coins and the banknotes that you are making use of nowadays. Those same banks are going to convert all of that into digital equivalents. Of course, anybody who hears this will normally say, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing if they decide to replace. All these people who are keeping their mics open. Chofu, please, can you keep your mic muted? Zoli, please, your mic is on. Keep it muted, please. Zoli, mute yourself. Chofu, do the same. If at some point I send you out of this Zoom, be sure that you're not going to come back. So you really have to play pretty safe here, because if I send you out, like I said, you are not coming back. Leader Fernand, please just take care of that. Once you find somebody's mic open, just make sure you mute the person. At the very least, send the person out. All right. So like I was saying, anybody who listens to what I just said with regards to central bank digital currencies will normally say that, but it's a good thing. Instead of me moving around with physical money, whether in terms of coins or in terms of banknotes, if I can have all of that on maybe a gadget, an electronic gadget, it's a good thing. Of course, it is. But wait until they tell you the consequences behind. There are some things behind probably which are not known to you yet. Now, the first disadvantage of CBDC is the fact that it is 100% controlled by the central bank, as opposed to cryptocurrencies, which are not controlled by any entity because they operate purely under a public decentralized ledger, what they call a blockchain. It is the contrary with central banks' digital currencies, CBDCs. CBDCs, of course, they are going to be running on blockchains, but the blockchains that they will be running on are not public blockchains. They are decentralized blockchains. Some are centralized, but they are not public, which means that they are not exposed to everybody. It's not everybody that can have access to the content. That is what makes it bad. Why? Because it is only the banking system that wants to have that control over this method of making use of money. That is the first disadvantage. That means these people have the possibility to manipulate the value of what you have as money because they have access to it. That makes it bad. The second thing that makes it bad is the fact that, imagine, for instance, you have been serving on a job, or maybe you are currently serving on a job, and you are earning something called a monthly salary. And then suddenly they tell you that the money that you have been saving in a bank, because you have kept it there for so many years or so many months, according to them, how they are going to define it, they now tell you that because that money has been there for long, it has expired. Have you ever heard that money has an expiry date? But that is what is going to happen to CBDC. That is one of the things that makes CBDC extremely very bad, because it has an expiration date. That is number two. Number three, imagine you who is carrying money, maybe in the digital form. Probably you are holding it on a digital gadget. And they tell you that that particular money that you have is having geographical limitation or has geographical constraints. In other words, you are only permitted to make use of that money when you find yourself within a particular area. Once you cross out, okay, as a simple example, if you are in Cameroon, they will tell you the CBDC that you have, which is the digital version of the franc CFA, which is used here, you have it probably on a gadget, and you'll be told that the day you cross the territorial boundaries of Cameroon, you will no longer be able to make use of that money till the day you come back to this territory. That is the day you start making use of that money again. That is absolute control. Now they are controlling the way you make use of your own hard-earned money. That is another disadvantage with CBDC. As if that is not enough, the way you spend money from your own terminal, it is seen at the level of the central bank. Means that the central bank can evaluate the total amount of money that you spend in a day, in a week, in a month, even in a year. And so the central bank can decide to penalize you by doing what? By freezing your account, because they see all your financial activities. So there is somebody who can remote control the amount of money that you make use of. Because remember, all of this is about control. They want to control the lifestyle of humans in the world. That is the objective of trying to replace physical money with the digital version, so that they can be able to have control over. So they know exactly what amount of money is spent by who. And they can even go as far as tracing the way the money has been moving, because it is in the digital form and it is operating on what? On a blockchain, which is not public. It's a private blockchain, which is only managed at the level of those banks. So they can be able to initiate any evaluation or any control that they want over the usage of money by X, Y, Z, or whoever. Or maybe a company, could be a company, could be an individual, anybody. So they actually put you in the spotlight, like you are actually being monitored by a central system. So your life is no longer private. You no longer have privacy. Everything is monitored. That is what makes CBDC extremely very bad. And like I said, to capital is a part where I mentioned that it has an expiry date. Imagine you being told that maybe you had about £1 million in your account, or I don't know, maybe $2,000, $10,000, probably which you have been accumulating for too many years or for so many years. And then all of a sudden you are told that because that money has been there for too long, it has expired because you have kept it there for long without making use of it. And then you have to start all over again. Does that actually make you happy? Definitely, I know the answer is no. Now, with these two issues that I've just mentioned, the first one, the coming of robots to take over your jobs, number one. Number two, the coming of CBDC to replace the physical fiat that you have with a digital version that will permit the people who are behind to be able to initiate control over everything that you do. That means that your life is being controlled by somewhere. With these two issues, the question here is, what are you doing in order to prepare for this particular period? Are you just folding your arms, moving every day like every other person, just waiting for that period to come, so that when it comes, okay, you start thinking of what you can do? But I want to tell you that there is something you can do about all of this in such a way that by the time we are faced with the depth of that period, you can be able to escape it. There is an escape plan that we already have, thanks to one powerful entrepreneur in the world, in the person of Alex Reinhardt. I know it's a name many people don't like to hear because people have various opinions about him. But I want to tell you the truth. He's one of the persons in the world right now that has been able to carve out a niche in terms of putting in place a solution that can permit people have something like plan B or an escape plan from the hooks of CBDC and from the waves, the bad waves that are being brought gradually to the world by the coming of robots. Now, with these two issues at hand, we are now looking at solutions. Now, I'm going to be sharing with you, for those of you probably who are attending this presentation for the first time, I'm going to be sharing with you a technology that can permit you build an escape plan from what these people are about to do to the world. Means that you will no longer have to depend on your job. Neither will you continue to be held spellbound within the frameworks of the fiat space. Because what these guys are doing now, cryptocurrencies are beginning to gain grounds everywhere in the world, especially now with the coming into power by Trump again. So there's so much in the news, hovering around cryptocurrencies. The fiat space also is not sleeping. They know fully well that a lot of people are beginning to pick interest in the domain of crypto. So they too are multiplying their strategies. They are looking for means to make sure that they keep people in the fiat space because they have control over. So you have to understand something. Now, let us go back, first of all, and look at a few consequences of the coming into being of robots. What are the consequences of, the coming of robots? Normally, somebody who listens to you will say, but if I can have a robot that is doing almost everything for me, it's a good thing. Of course, it is. It is a good thing, trust me. It's a lofty idea. It's a wonderful thing. But it can only be good if and only if you are an owner of a robot. If you don't own a robot, then it cannot be something good for you. Now, let us look at some of the consequences. Number one consequence, we are going to, like I already mentioned, there will be what we call loss of jobs. So many jobs are going to be lost to these robots. That's number one. Number two, in fact, we are going to be noticing so many school dropouts. We are going to have to be dealing with many school dropouts. Why would there be so many school dropouts? Because a lot of children will say, but if I have to go to school to learn a particular trade, maybe to become an electrician, an electrical engineer, a civil engineer, I don't know, an engineer of some sort in some particular domain. And upon graduation, I know that there are already programmed robots out there that can do the same thing, which I spent several years in school studying. There are robots that can do that even better than me. So what is the essence of me going to school? That's another consequence. You'll be seeing all of these things happening very soon. Number three, there is going to be high rate of criminality. Of course, that one is understood. If we have so many school dropouts, what do you expect them to be doing? Definitely, they have to get involved with criminality of some sort because they are looking for means to survive. Now, for those of you who are into the business of building houses, real estate, trust me, time is coming when you have so many tenants occupying your premises or your buildings or your structures, and they will not be able to pay rents at the end of the year. Why? Because most of them will be jobless. They will not have jobs. So where would the money come from for them to be paying the rents? Are you beginning to see the problems that are about to start, showing their ugly heads in the world in a not too distant future from now? Some of you might be listening to this and they are sounding as if they are far-fetched. It is just a matter of time. You see these things happening at your own very doorsteps. That is if you are not even going to get caught in the process, because probably you have a job right now. Someday you will be told that officially, as from this day, please, we no longer need your services because we now have a substitute for you. And that substitute is even better off than you are. Let us see some of the advantages of somebody who owns a robot. Now, just before I get there, okay, the first advantage why many people want to go in for robots. Remember, a robot doesn't require a monthly salary. Robots don't require any form of payment. That's number one. Number two, robots don't need food to eat. The only thing a robot needs is for his battery to be well charged. So a robot doesn't need a salary at the end of the month. A robot doesn't need to eat. A robot doesn't get tired. A robot would never ask for permission to go and sympathize with a family member somewhere, or a robot telling you that I'm going for a wedding, or I'm going to attend to a family member of mine who died, and so on, or I'm going for vacation. Robots don't do that. Robots don't get tired. A robot would not say, I've been working for the past 8 hours, so I need some rest. Robots work 24/7. And there will never be an occasion whereby robots will team up together and say, okay, we have been working too hard. The salaries we are being paid are too low. Let us come together and we stage a strike so that our salaries can be increased. It doesn't happen like that with robots, but with humans, it does. So many people want to take out humans from their companies. Why? Because they don't want a situation where the human beings will gang up together and they will organize strikes because they need salary increase, and these ladies will come and demand for maternity leave. Some people will say we need maybe 1 month or 2 months or 3 months of leave, depending on the sector where you are. At some point, some people will retire. They will need to train more experts in school. They will come and begin to serve them on the job. They'll have to be paying them monthly salaries. At some point, with some experts, they will get up and say, okay, we have been serving for this number of years. It's about time you increase our salaries, and so on and so forth. We don't know those things with robots. That is why a lot of people are adopting this technology. Everybody wants to have a robot. Now, the question is, if everybody eventually employs a robot, who is going to be working for who again against a salary? And if you don't have that money, how do you survive? So there are particular key domains now. There are potential domains in the world right now. If you are somebody who is wise, you have to start setting your eyes in those areas. Don't run again. That time has passed when people spend time running after white-collar jobs. I want to be in an office somewhere. If you are still focusing your attention there, it's a mistake that you are making. Now, if you want to make an exception, start going to the domain of agriculture. If you are setting your eyes in the domain of agriculture, trust me, you can single out yourself, because like they usually say, the soil never deceives anybody. Once you grow something which is organic, be rest assured that you will always be in business, because there will always be people needing food to eat. Even though I said earlier on that we now have robots that work on farms, which means that a lot of companies will come up with mechanized systems of farming that employ services of robots, not humans even. But if you can do that for yourself and you are producing food that you yourself you are eating, it's a good thing for yourself. But talking about money, you getting money, trust me, if you want to keep hoping on serving somebody on a job in exchange for that money, be rest assured that you might end up not fulfilling your dreams, because nobody's going to give you that money, because your services will no longer be needed. Now, after saying all of this, what is now the escape plan? Very important. Now, that's what I'm going to be sharing with you right now. How do you prepare to escape from the robot era as well as CBDC? Very important. Number one, there are people who come up with alternatives by saying that we are going to go into some form of business. Maybe somebody decides to invest in a particular business, but you know also the shortcomings with investment in businesses. You know, whenever you put up a business, you need close to about 5 to 10 years for the business to mature. And then when it eventually matures, you can only make something between 10 to 20% per annum. Is it into real estate? You need between 10 to 20 years to start making something worthwhile. And when we say something worthwhile, it's usually between the range of 4 to 10% per annum. The worst is for those who want to think that they can go to the bank and then they put their money in savings account so that will be generating some form of interest for them. That is even the worst category of people. Why? Because the interest rate per year, not even per month, as we know with most banks, unless somebody is connected to a bank that does something way beyond this one. But to the best of my knowledge, there is none. Normally, the interest is going to be between 0.2 to 2%. And if that's what you're capitalizing on, then you will need to be saving or to accumulate this 0.2 to 2% every year for at least 30 years and above for you to now have something substantial in hand that you can say, okay, you want to invest in a project. Do you now see the limitations, how some of these things are going to die a natural death because robots have made a complete replacement of humans in most of these areas? Artificial intelligence is now replacing everything. Now, there are children who no longer want to reason. Almost everybody, even adults as well. People don't want to use their brains again naturally. Once somebody is faced with a little challenge, what happens? The person goes to AI. Ask AI anything, he has the answers. People don't want to use their brains. That's why you see people moving every day with their smartphones. The least complication that somebody has, even if it is a mathematical equation that somebody wants to solve, it could be a problem of some sort that somebody is looking for means to get a solution for. Just introduce what the problem is to AI, and AI is going to give you the answer. Life is made easy. That is how these guys want to make humans to depend on them 100% so that they can use that to control your life. What is the escape plan? That's what we are still talking about. Now, this one shows you an evolution of currency in the world, how currencies or how money actually evolved till it got to the level where we are now. But we are not going to go into that because most of you are already familiar with that. Now, right now, statistics show that about 4.4 billion people in the world are actually connected or making use of the internet service or are making use of internet services. What is the population of the world? The world right now, according to statistics, is about, in fact, we have close to about 9 billion people in the entire world, but just about 4.4 billion of this population is making use of internet facilities. Either they are doing that by exploiting some of the services of Google, Amazon, Facebook, and other, social media sites. Now, that is for what we refer to as internet. We have another version, a senior version of the internet, which is referred to commonly as Internet 2.0, which is what we call the blockchain. It is an improved version of the internet. How many people are actually making use, or how many people actually find themselves in the blockchain space? Statistics again show that just about 350 million people out of this total population of about 9 billion around the world are making use of the blockchain technology. Just about 350 million, extremely very small. Yet this is a technology that has a very powerful potential, has extraordinary potentials, I must say. A lot of people can be able to make use of this technology to build wealth. Imagine a technology that gives you the possibility to build your own stream of income from the convenience of your home. You can build a live stream of income for yourself, making use of this blockchain technology. But how many people are aware of this? Now, you will equally realize that this same blockchain technology is going to be employed in almost all the sectors of the world, from the banking and finance sector to supply chain, healthcare, insurance, energy, name it, almost every area. Blockchain technology is not only used to run crypto. We don't only use blockchain technology to run cryptocurrencies. Unfortunately, that's the way some people think about it. Do you know that people who ride wheels, like somebody can ride a wheel to say, okay, if I die, for instance, today, you will have to come and maybe you gather my family members and you read out my will and so on. And on several occasions, we've come across, cases whereby a will is written by somebody and is kept in the custody of a legal practitioner. For some reason, maybe some family members can go behind and corrupt the legal practitioner in question, and he might go to the extent of changing certain lines inside the will. Do you know that that can actually be done and safeguarded on a blockchain? Meaning that a blockchain can also be used to protect somebody's will. You can write a will and you store it on the blockchain, whereby nobody can do a modification on it. That's another application of the blockchain technology. Child trafficking also can be monitored using the blockchain technology. Elections can be conducted, or a voting process can also be conducted using the blockchain technology. So the blockchain technology is applied in varied areas. It has a lot of applications. Reasons why, between now and the year 2030, projections have shown that close to about 1 billion of the world's population will be making use of the blockchain technology through various means, with various applications. So that means it is a very lucrative source that can actually permit people make a lot in their lives. Now, using the blockchain to create a permanent source of cash flow, that is our major point of concern this evening, which is what I want to share with you all. How can you make use of this particular technology to build wealth for yourself? Very important. There is what we call the ultima token, which most of you are already familiar with or are conversant with to an extent. Now, I want to show you this evening, for those of you who are probably still making their debut into this space, how you can be able to make use of the blockchain technology, and you are able to get something which you can refer to as a product that can give you unending wealth. And that product is what we call the ultima token. It's a product that represents money in itself. But you can only get this product through the technology I just made mention of, which is the blockchain technology. Now, how do we get the ultimate token? With other cryptocurrencies that we know in the market, especially the mainstream cryptocurrencies, they often make use of two major technologies. It is either the cryptocurrency in question is making use of what we call the mining technology, or is making use of what we call the staking technology. As a matter of fact, these ones are methods through which people can be able to get some of these digital assets. It's either you are getting it through a mining process or you are getting it through a staking process. Now, this particular company that has this product, which is called the Ultima token, has decided to come up with a new technology, which is actually very new to the world, which is what they call the splitting technology, which is equally a method whereby people can get to acquire some of these digital assets, notably the Ultima token itself, which we are actually focusing on. And this splitting technology is actually a combination of the mining and the staking technologies which are being used by other mainstream cryptocurrencies. So when you do a combination of these two, it gives birth to this one, which is called the splitting technology. And let me inform you that it is our company that came up with this invention. In other words, through the usage of a simple smartphone, you can be able to get these digital assets from the comfort of your home. Means that you can create a live stream of income through this technology from the comfort of your home, as opposed to those who are making use of the mining technology and maybe staking to an extent. Now, with mining, we all know the major inconveniences with mining. If we try to do a comparative analysis, we realize that a mainstream coin like the Bitcoin is actually exploiting the mining technology. We have other coins like Ethereum, which goes with staking. But with us, with the Ultima token, we are making use of the splitting technology. Now, this one is a comparative analysis that is made between all three digital assets in the market. Now, when we talk of the maximum supply for BTC, it is 21 million. There shall be 21 million, not more than 21 million BTCs that will exist in the world. Right now, we have close to about 20 million BTCs that have been mined, which means we have just close to about 1 million BTCs that are left to be mined. And once the last one is mined, that is all. Now, with Ethereum has an unlimited supply. And that is also one thing that makes it very risky, because the CEO of this company can decide to crash that particular coin in just 1 second. He can decide to do it by doing what? By flooding the market. If he makes the supply in the market to be extremely too high, he brings down the price and everybody loses. That is one disadvantage with such mainstream coins, which are unlimited in number. Now, look at our own case. What is the max supply? 100,000, telling you that the present community of the company alone, it is not possible for each member to have up to one full coin, because it's limited to 100,000. That one should already tell you something. Anybody who is wise, who is grounded in cryptocurrencies, once they see such a limited supply, they start running for it, because they know that there shall come a time when the scarcity is going to be alarming. And it's that scarcity that is going to give it more value, financial value, of course, to be very precise. Now, these are other differences that you can get to sort out, that sort out between these various coins. Those, that are working with the mining or the staking or the splitting technology. When we talk of, for instance, the daily supply with BTC, after the last halving that just took place, we have 450 BTCs that get into the market every day, or which are mined and sent to the market every blessed day. With Ethereum, we have 1,400 that go to the market every blessed day. At the moment with Ultima, we have just 25, of course, in theory, but practically speaking, we have close to about 31 Ultima tokens that are going to the market every day. And the last but not the least, with BTC as a strategy to boost the value of BTC, there is what we call a reduction in the supply. Please keep your mics muted. Every asset which has a sellable potential means that what defines the price of everything which is sellable is the demand for it with respect to the supply. If the demand is high, then be rest assured that the value also is going to go up. Now, if you keep the demand on the increase and the supply constant, or the supply in a retrograding manner, then the price is going to go up. If you do the two simultaneously, then the speed at which the price goes up also increases. Means that you increase the demand, you reduce the supply. That is actually the technique that BTC is using. That's why we talk of halving, meaning that the quantity of coins going to the market after every 4 years drops down. Same thing applies with Ultima. With Ultima presently, in theory, it's 25 Ultima tokens that go to the market every blessed day. And our own halving takes place every year. Meaning that, as a matter of fact, the next halving in Ultima is going to be taking place in the month of February. Meaning that instead of us having 25 Ultima tokens going to the market, we are going to henceforth be having 12 Ultima tokens going to the market. You see how the supply of this coin going to the market is being reduced? If the supply is reducing against an ever-increasing demand, that should already tell you a whole lot. That formula is verified, meaning that the price has no choice but to move upward. Now, do not judge it based on what happens within 1 day, or within 2 days, or within 1 week, or within 1 month. All of this can actually go effective over a period of 1 year. Is possible, depending also on the reaction of the community, and of course on the strategies that the marketing department of such a company is putting in place. So there are several parameters that will define that. Now, I will not go doing analysis on these other differences. You can actually take our time for yourself and you go through all of this supply reduction and so on. I've just mention, some of them. Now, in summary, it is important for us to remember, like I just said, that with our own system, we are dealing with a hybrid system. Means that we have combined two technologies, notably mining and staking, which has given birth to a unique technology, which is referred to as splitting. That is the technology that is permitting us to be able to get fractions of this digital asset called Ultima token. Now, it is eco and energy friendly, meaning that it will not require large miners with very big and power consuming rigs, like the case of mining with BTC. So we don't have that particular challenge. Then the technology that the company has actually put in place has made it in such a way that this particular coin has what we call an open door policy. An open door policy in the sense that it accepts everybody, both those who are well knowledgeable or well grounded in cryptocurrencies and those who are not. Even somebody who virtually or who barely reads or who barely writes can be able to make or carve a niche for himself in this particular business. Means that you can also make wealth because everything has been well simplified through the technology. All you need to do is click on a particular button, just a button that you click on. And once that click is done, you have money being generated for you. That is a source of income that you've created for yourself. That is the way the business has simplified it for everybody. So it's inclusive. And it is going to run for a lifetime. So you can create a a lifetime stream of income for yourself. It is very easy to use. Some of us are already making use of it. If I open this mic now, there are so many of you that will give a lot of testimonies with regards to that. Now, as a recap again, the maximum supply is 100,000. Right now, we have close to about 40,000 already available in supply in the market. Either they're in people's wallets or they have been staked or people are making use of them either on the exchange or wherever. But what has actually gone out is about 40,000. Now, as of the moment when this particular slide was constituted, close to about 6,150,000 transactions have already taken place globally. And at the time as well, one ultima token was selling at the price of 5,000 US dollars. But as of today, right now, as I speak with you, the price of one ultima token is at the neighborhood of $8,500. It's shortly now between 8,100 and 8,300 US dollars. That should already start telling you something, especially if you have the mind of a trader. Assuming that you're able to purchase at the price rate of 5,000, one ultima token. Now that it has appreciated to 8,000, what is that percentage? If you were to go back to the market to sell, you can now be able to do an evaluation of your percentage profit. Now, a wise trader thinks in that light. Now, just in case you don't want to be just an ordinary trader, now when I say trader, I'm actually referring to the people we refer to commonly in local parlance as buy and sell them. Because a majority of traders are buy and sell them. They go and buy very cheap and then they sell very high. And then they capitalize on the profit margin. That is all they do. But it is not everybody who has the competence to do that. Not everybody is familiar with, that strategy of making wealth using digital assets. Now, for somebody who doesn't, this company has given them the possibility to make the same word as a trader will make by not doing all of those calculations in the market, by not bothering about market climates and so on. That is the reason why they have made that technology available, that people just need to click on simple buttons on their smart gadgets and they make money every blessed day of their lives. Now, I want to make this precision extremely very, very loud and clear that once you are able to purchase one of these technologies, it will create a live stream source of income for you. It means that you'll be making money every blessed day for a lifetime. It's very important. Now, talking about the mission of this company, the major mission of the company is to become the world's most widely used digital currency. That is the ultimate token, to be very precise, and putting in place a system or an ecosystem in the crypto space, which is one of the most powerful and the most competitive in the market. As we speak right now, we are above 8 years in terms of existence in the market. It means that this company saw the light of day in the year 2016. So if you do your mathematics well, you should now be seeing that we are actually into the 9th year of existence and we are still counting. And over this number of years, we have been able to verify 4 major pillars. We have been able to show proof of concept. We've been able to show proof of the business. We've been able to show proof of unique technologies, and we've been able to show proof of utility. That is what we call proof of the market. Now, for those of you who are asking questions to know exactly who is the vision bearer behind this particular coin, here is a gentleman, Alex Reinhardt. He's half Russian, half German. He's actually one of the finest that we find in the industry when it has to do with blockchain technology. So he's one of the best blockchain experts that we can find around the world. So he's somebody who is well grounded when it comes to fintech. So he has a wide range of experiences in the digital assets generally. And he's an expert, like I said, one of the best experts, an expert par excellence in the domain of blockchain technology. Now, the ultima token growth, like I just said, we have an asset, a valuable asset. I will refer to it as a gold mine. Now, we can only refer to it as a gold mine if it has value, substantial value. Now, the objective of every company that puts in the market a digital asset is to make sure that the value of that digital asset keeps moving upward. That is the only thing that makes people to continue to partner with such, a product or with such a company through its product. And one of the strategies that this particular company has put in place, or some of the strategies it has put in place to make sure that the value of this ultima token keeps growing. We have several of them, as a matter of fact. I'm going to be sharing some of them with you. Number one, it is doing publicity on this ultima token. So the company has decided to do enough publicity. And doing publicity means that you are taking the product to many customers. You are taking the products to the market where you find so many customers who can readily make themselves available to purchase the product. And these markets are what we refer to as exchange markets. So the company has decided to list it on several exchanges. These are some of the exchanges that you see listed here. Though the coin presently is not found on all of them, but there are some of them that already has the coin trading on them. Now, for instance, you see there is Binance, there is Coinbase, there is Bybit, there is OKS, Orbit, Mexi, BingX, Bitmap, and so on. So these are some of the exchanges that will be trading ultima tokens. But right now, it is not listed yet on the Binance, but it's going to be listed on Binance between the second and the fourth quarter of this year, 2025, if everything goes well. Why? Because the company presently is in negotiation with this particular exchange. So right now, if your interest is to purchase ultima tokens, because you have the possibility also to buy them from some of these markets. So you can either purchase it on the Gate.io, you can purchase it on Mexi, you can purchase it on BingX or BingX. You can also purchase it on, yes, I think those are the exchanges. I think the last one is Bitmap. It was recently listed on the Bitmap. So these are some of the exchanges, top-notch exchanges. You can go to CoinMarketCap, to identify the positions in terms of ranking on CoinMarketCap that some of these exchanges they actually occupy. That is to tell you that these exchanges are well-established exchanges. By the time it is eventually listed on Binance, Binance alone has a population of close to about 250 million, I should say, traders. There are close to about 250 million traders on Binance, which means that by the time this coin appears there, imagine you taking a product to a large community as large as 250 million persons. Like these 250 million persons are learning about a particular product with high profile potentials. And if everybody eventually manifests a desire to get at least a fraction out of such a product, tell me how the demand is going to look like with respect to the supply. What do you think will be the price? The price definitely is going to explode. So doing publicity on a digital asset like that is extremely very important, especially when you publicize it on the major exchanges as such, which is exactly what the company is already doing. So like I told you, between the second and the fourth quarter of this particular year, 2025, if everything goes well, then the ultima token is definitely going to be listed on the Binance. And when that happens, because projections have shown that if we can have a community that is made up of at least 100 million users who are making use of ultima tokens like on daily basis, then the probability for us to have the price of one ultima token rise up to 100,000 US dollars is extremely very high. As a matter of fact, I even see it going beyond. If we can have, that is, if we want to count only on the community alone, we are not talking about, the entire ecosystem. If we count just on the community of traders, buyers and sellers of this ultima token, then be rest assured that us hitting the value $100,000 is extremely imminent. And there's a possibility for us to go above. So these are some of the things you need to bear in mind. Now, talking about the 24 hours volume, meaning 24 hours trading volume, we have close to about $3 million that are being transacted on the exchanges. That is as of the time when this particular slide was constituted. Now, in terms of market rank, also at the time, we're actually classified among the first 200 and something coins on the coins market cap. So that should already start telling you something, because on CoinMarketCap, we can identify close to about 21 million, if I'm not making a mistake, close to about 21 million different cryptocurrencies that exist in the market. And every passing day, you have new cryptocurrencies that are joining. Either they are tokens or they are full-fledged coins with their own blockchains. They keep adding themselves there. And if they tell you that out of that entire number, within the first 200 and let's say 250,
ultima token is appearing among. That should already tell you a whole lot. It's not necessarily about the things you see. It's not about what you see immediately, what you are seeing now. It's about what the future holds for the asset in question. Now, another strategy that the company is using to boost the value of this ultimate token is what we call making it a hyper deflationary coin. Hyper deflationary simply means that the supply going to the market is controlled. Means that the quantity of what goes to the market has a programmed control system on it. And the control is not in terms of maybe the possibility to increase the quantity or reducing the quantity. No. On the blockchain, it has been programmed in such a way that the more people are joining the business, the smaller is the quantity of coins that somebody can have, number one. Number two, the more time passes, there are time frames that have been allocated. The more time passes, the more the reduction of the coins that are going to the market from the blockchain as it has been programmed there. That is one thing that makes it interesting. And this one is a complete reversal of the technology we had before now, which was referred to as the farming technology. With farming, it was a complete opposite of this one. Because with farming, the more people join, the more coins instead are produced and sent to the market. And at some point, we find ourselves with a market situation whereby the supply is more than the demand. And we can only expect one thing, and that is a price drop. So we suffered from that. So the company now decided to reverse the technology by coming with what we call the splitting technology that now made the entire process to be highly deflationary in such a way that as time passes, there is a gradual reduction that is made in the quantity of ultimate tokens that go to the market because all of them are controlled from what we call a decentralized liquidity pool, which is operating on a DeFi system. So on this picture, it already tells you that the first people who join a particular delegated liquidity pool had the possibility to have so many coins in their hands. As many people were joining means that as the community kept increasing, the probability or the possibility of a single person or of an individual getting to be in possession of a huge quantity of coin, so much so that the person can decide to take such a huge quantity of coins, to go to the market and change the market situation is very, very slim. So the more people join, the smaller the quantity of coins that each person can have in his or her possession. But having a small quantity of coin does not necessarily give the same interpretation that what the person is going to be making is going to be small. No, that's not what it means. You can have something small in quantity, but the value of it is extremely very high. So those are two different things. Now, talking about the aspect of security, which is what so many traders on most of the exchanges usually bother about. There are some traders that before they get involved with a particular cryptocurrency, they need to be sure of the security on the blockchain of such a cryptocurrency. And that is why our own blockchain, which is referred to as the smart blockchain, on which the mother coin known as smart coin is running on and having the ultima as a token on it, the first token that was built on it or was being run on it, that blockchain has gone through a successful test in the hands of a certain company referred to as Certic. Certic is a Colombian company. Now, this Colombian company is actually a well-established company that is able to assess the security level of every blockchain that is submitted to them. So our company has also submitted its blockchain to this Certic company, and they have done the evaluation of the blockchain back and forth over a very long period of time, and finally came up with the conclusion that they have passed the KYC, or they have actually passed all the security conditions or the security checks. They have evaluated all of them and have given their thumbs up to this particular company. So in terms of security, our blockchain is extremely well secured because it has received a pass mark from this particular company. That already should start telling you a whole lot. Now, for those of you who are a little knowledgeable in cryptocurrencies, probably if you want to understand better what the roadmap of this ultimate token is, you can consult what we call the white paper. The white paper of a cryptocurrency is more like the birth certificate of that cryptocurrency, meaning that in this birth certificate, they will tell you that, okay, this is the reason why this particular coin is existing. This is the maximum quantity that shall be in existence. It went into operation as from this date. This is the roadmap. This is what we intend to achieve with this. These are the timelines. These are the time frames. These are the things we intend to do within this particular period. Now, all of those details, if you want to know all of them, you can consult the information on the white paper. Now, as another strategy to be able to boost the value of the ultima token in the market, the company decided to build a very strong ecosystem using real world economic products. Decided to build an ecosystem made up of real world economic products and services around this ultima token, like you can see it in the middle here. So around this ultima token, you have real world products. Some of them are, you can find them actually here. There are some of them which are products, some of them are services. Now, let us take one of the products, which is the ATM card, what we refer to as the virtual or the physical ultima card. As a matter of fact, this one is it's not a debit. In fact, this one is actually a master debit card. Now, what actually makes this master debit card unique? Because people will say, but there are other companies like Binance that also has the same debit cards and so on. And you have other companies that give the same. So what makes our own card different from the other ones is the fact that our own cards are capable of hosting a good number of currencies, a good number of them, with some of them being in the fiat space and others being in the crypto space. So it has been able to unite two different worlds together. Now, in the fiat space, this particular card is capable of hosting 5 major international currencies. Notably, you have the dollar, you have the euro, you have the yen, you have the yuan, you have the Great British Pound. 5 major international currencies that can be hosted by this particular card. Is it in the crypto space? In the crypto space, you also have 5 major mainstream cryptocurrencies that this card is capable of hosting as well, amongst which you have USDTs. Definitely Ultima is going to be one of them. And I'm pretty sure smart card also is going to be one of them. You have a USDT, like I already mentioned. You can also have a BTC. You can find BTC on it. You have other mainstream coins like Ethereum and so on. You have a good number of them with the possibility of more being added to it. So this one is a card that can permit you do transactions with relative ease. So all you need to do is, for instance, if you are somebody who has Ultima tokens, all you need to do, or rather USDTs, all you need to do is load USDTs on this card. Take the card to the nearest ATM machine. You don't need to go and negotiate with somebody on the price of the USD. No. Just load the card with USDTs, just like you can do the loading of the card with any other digital asset, which is part of, the assets that have been accredited for this card. Once you do the loading, just go to the nearest ATM machine to you. You slot it inside, and the digital assets are going to be converted into the fiat currency used in the nation where you are doing the transaction. Now, what does this tell you? This simply tells you that, now this is the trick behind. The company has used this product alone to attract a large number, or should I say a huge following. There are many people who have been attracted to this company because of this card alone. How? Remember, we have so many people in this cryptocurrency space. There are so many people, not necessarily those who are connected to our company. There are many people in other businesses, crypto businesses, or crypto platforms, or dealing with other crypto companies or whatever. But the major problem that most of them have is that at the end of the day, how do they convert their cryptocurrencies into the money that they are making use of in the nations where they belong? For instance, those in Cameroon. It is not just enough for you to get involved with the cryptocurrency, but at the end of the day, how do you convert the cryptocurrency to franc CFA? That's the major question. Many people have been asking that question. Now, this is a company that has brought a solution, or an answer to that question by simply telling you that, okay, with the help of this card, whatever digital asset that you have, you simply need to load it on this card. And then from there, take it to the nearest ATM machine, slot it inside, and you have the cash. Now, what happens? Anybody who heard this, even somebody who is not a member of this community, will say, I'm interested in that card. Because to have this card, you must not be a member of the Ultima Token family. So you see that many people are running from other crypto companies or from other places because they want to get this card. Everybody wants to have it. But now the company has made it in such a way that anybody who wants to get this card can only purchase it using what? Its own currency, which is what? The Ultima Token. Which means anybody who knows the value of this card will say, no, I must have one of these cards. But the condition is for you to have it, you must make use of what? Ultima Token. You can't buy it using USDTs. You can't buy it using any other currency. You must make use of Ultima Token. Which means if we have 1 million people today who are interested in this card, these 1 million people need to go to the exchange market and buy what? And buy Ultima Tokens from the exchange market to make use of them to purchase the card. What is that? That is demand. You see the way the company has created demand on the Ultima Token using one real world economic product, which is what? The ATM card. Because it has put in place a solution that will answer to the question or to the difficulties that many people in the crypto space with other companies or other platforms have been facing. So he uses one product to bring all of them to its system. That is one. Now you have other technologies, for instance, like the ultima token pool. These ones are liquidity pools. This is another one, the booster pool. You have this one, which is the business pool. Now, this one, to understand this one, it has to do with either you are an investor or let's say you are a network developer with this particular company. So it's simply showing you a way of getting what you call residual income. So you can actually make residual income. Now, when I say residual income, means that you are actually earning fractions of these ultima tokens on daily basis by either making use of this technology or making use of this one or making use of this one. Now you have what you call the ultima store. This one is like an online shop that the company has created where you can possibly get to purchase a good number of products, with the advantage being that any product you purchase from here, you have the possibility of being given a certain discount, which could go even up to about 90%. So many people want to purchase things at a discount. And the only way they can get to benefit from such discounts is if they are purchasing those things using what? Ultima tokens. That is another demand that's been created around the ultima token. Now we have games. There are several games that are going to be made available to the community whereby people just need to keep themselves busy. They entertain themselves by playing games. You play a particular game, you win, you earn money in the process. Good enough. The first game that we have right now is a game where nobody loses. Everybody is always winning something. And each time you concentrate and you make something out of that particular game, it starts fetching for you a lot of returns. Most of you are involved with Battle Bull game. That is one of the games. And the CEO said in his last outing that there is another game in process. We are going to have another game, that will be made available to the community that we can also make use of it to do what? To make so much wealth for ourselves. Now we have another physical product which is called Smart Defender. This one is a security layer which is built also around one of our decentralized applications, which is called the Smart Wallet. So we have a decentralized application, which is known as the Smart Wallet. Now, for us to be able to build a solid security around this Smart Wallet, one of the major products that has been made available is what we call the Smart Defender. Now, probably I'm going to be expanding more on that in a moment. We also have an exchanger. There's an exchanger that the company is about to put at the disposal of the public. Now, through this exchanger, there will be a possibility for people to get to trade ultima token against other mainstream competing cryptocurrencies, notably USDTs, BTCs, Ethereum. Time is coming when we have the possibility to do this. And they will even have the possibility of having it paired with other, mainstream cryptocurrencies. So that is going to be going operational pretty soon. But now, the way the company is trying to make it, they are trying to build it in such a way that this particular exchange can be integrated in one of its decentralized applications, where it's going to be more or less like a one-stop shop, where you can have the possibility to do a storage of your digital assets, just like you can have the possibility to get them traded on that particular exchange. One-stop shop that is giving people the possibility to do varied things. We have also another platform which is called the U-Market. That's the Ultima Market, which is a marketplace, as a matter of fact, which is almost synonymous to this one. So it has its own category of products. But as of now, this website or these online shops are not available yet for the public to start making intensive usage of them. But already know that they are in development. They are just fine-tuning all of them. In not too distant time from now, all of them will be made available in such a way that people can start doing transactions on them in full time, and that we can actually get to trace also in real time. Now, these are some of the products and services that the company is building around the ultima token to make it have more value. Anybody who is wise in the crypto space, once you see a beautiful and powerful, as you see, an outstanding ecosystem like this one, and then knowing fully well that the maximum quantity of the coin is limited to 100,000, trust me, if you are somebody who knows more about the crypto space, you will not go for a night without making sure that you procured at least a fraction of this particular ultima token, especially now that you still have the possibility to get a good quantity out of it, because time is coming when for you to get just 0.001, it will be extremely very difficult. Okay, to do a recap on all of this, I just mentioned that we have a limited supply. It is limited at what? 100,000. We have a deflationary mechanism that has been built around it. aside the deflationary mechanism, there is also what we call a halving technique also that has been integrated into it in such a way that every year there is a halving that is taking place in the quantity of the digital asset that goes to the market. Presently, in theory, we have 25 ultima tokens that are going to the market. As soon as we have the next halving, which is taking place in the month of February, we are going to be having just 12 ultima tokens going to the market through all the liquidity pools. Even if more liquidity pools are created, the total number of assets that they will be able to put at the disposal of everybody will not be beyond 12. So you see the deflationary model, or the deflationary model, which is coming through the halving. That also should start telling you a whole number of things. Now, like I mentioned earlier, we have our decentralized application, which is known as a smart wallet. These are some of the mainstream digital assets that can actually be hosted at this time by this particular smart wallet, with the possibility of us getting to have more of them listed in the days ahead. As a matter of fact, we're going to have close to about 1,000 more coins that are going to be listed again on it. A while ago, I made mention of the Smart Defender being one of the protection layers on our decentralized application, which is the smart wallet. Now, what is so peculiar with this card is the fact that most of you have actually installed this wallet. During the installation process, you came across an area where they actually gave you what we call mnemonic codes. Usually, most of them are 12 in number. There are some that go up to 24 in number. Now, with those mnemonic codes, you copy down 12 words in a particular sequence, meaning that you have 6 on the left and 6 on the right, which makes it 12. Now, this is the risk that some of you are actually run. There are some people who are extremely very careless in nature. There are some people who probably not necessarily out of carelessness might get to compromise the security of these mnemonic codes by doing what? By exposing them to third parties. I should even say to second parties, not actually third parties. They get to expose them to second parties. Somebody might copy his mnemonic codes and then he keeps them somewhere. Through some means, somebody stumbles on them. That means the security of that wallet is compromised, because it suffices for somebody to be in possession of your mnemonic codes, and that is it. Now, some of you might go to the extent to say, okay, having the mnemonic codes is one thing, but you still need a password. There are people who don't even password protect even their own wallets. Assuming that there is a password, what if the person still successfully has the possibility of, being aware of what the password is? It means that from that moment, the person is now the new owner of that account. So bearing all of this in mind, the company now decided to add an extra layer of security, which is putting into place what they call this Smart Defender. Now, what is this Smart Defender doing? The company now does a separation of these mnemonic codes, separates it into 2 groups. The first group, which is made of 6 mnemonics, the second group, which is also made of 6 mnemonics. Now, this first group of 6 mnemonics will be integrated directly under this Smart Defender, and the other 6 will be made available to you in such a way that you can copy them and keep them somewhere. So to increase the level of security here, this card, which contains 6 mnemonic codes on it, you can decide to keep it somewhere very far away from where you have actually kept these other codes, which you actually wrote down manually. So you can write this one down manually, you keep them somewhere. Even if somebody stumbles on them, you will stumble just on the 6, but the other 6 are held by this card, maybe which is kept somewhere. So the probability for this person to stumble on these 6 written mnemonic codes and the card also at the same time is actually reduced. Which means if the person has the 6 codes written down, he has an assignment, which is that of locating where the card is to get the other 6. So it makes it difficult for the person to actually break in to an extent. So that's the advantage actually of this card. So I already did a lot of explanation on this card, what it actually does. Now, I think I equally made mention of our marketplace. This is another major product that is about to go operational in the system that is going to boast. Please, I want everybody to pay attention at this point, because things are beginning to get very sticky here. This is where most of you will have your breakthrough coming. I know most of you on this call right now, you were part of this company in the year 2022. Most of you had joined this company back then. And you can actually testify to what actually happened to the digital asset of the company, which was a mainstream asset at the time, notably PLCU. PLCU went up to a value as high as beyond 100,000 US dollars. I mean, in terms of price, in the year 2022, 2021, 2022. a lot of people actually became millionaires. And most of you, unfortunately, have forgotten what actually led to that price increase at that time. It is this product, what they call the program. This CARS program is the major product. It's true that we had other products at the time. At that time, we were talking of, the how do you call it? The crowdfunding. We had our crowdfunding system working at the time. We had other products. We had even cashback vouchers and so many products and services. That was when they started, hitting so much on the Ultima travel and so on, which was also previewed at the time. It was supposed to go operational. For some reason, it was later not made operational. So there were so many things, amongst which, in fact, the one that actually stood tall as the major product that actually helped PLCU, that push for it to go beyond $100,000 is this CARS program. Now, the same CARS program is being brought again in this era of Ultima token. So if this is not telling you something, then it's a very big mistake you are making. The question is, how prepared are you? What is the quantity of Ultima tokens you have in your keeping right now? So much so that by the time this program is launched officially, by the time things start happening in the system, you also be part of it. I will take a simple example, because sometimes when we talk of the CARS program coming to boast up the value of it, many people don't see, they don't even understand how is he going to do it. Let me explain. Assuming that you go to the exchange right now, the price of one Ultima token is selling there for 8,000 plus. Meaning that we have traders on the exchange who are selling Ultima tokens against people who are buying, which means that to an extent, there are more buyers at the moment compared to the number of sellers. That is what is pushing the price upward. By the time this CARS program is launched, let me take a simple example. What is your dream car? This is a possibility whereby anybody in the world, doesn't matter where you are, you have the possibility to buy, in fact, not buying, to get any car of your dream. The only thing that will make you, not actually get there is the quality of dreams that you have. Because there are people who are not used to dreaming big. They always dream very shallow. Probably that's their calling to an extent, is for them to dream low. But if you can dream big, because that's what is going to define how wealthy you'll be, is the quality of the dreams that you have. If your dream is to own a G-Wagon, for instance, the truth be told, in real life, probably you actually know at the bottom of your heart that there is no way you can ever come close to owning a G-Wagon. Let's say it costs about 100,000 US dollars. You know for sure that there is no way you can ever raise that money. But right now, through this particular program with this company, it is possible even for somebody who thinks he's the poorest person in the world to dream a dream which has the best quality, a quality that is at the neighborhood of him getting to think that he can own a G-Wagon is possible. How? Through this CARS program. Let me take a simple example. Assuming that this G-Wagon is going to cost 100,000 US dollars. The truth be told, if you have the 100,000 US dollars, you go to a car dealer, you are going to do a swap with the person. The car dealer will collect your 100,000 US dollars and then give you the G-Wagon. That means you will never have your 100,000 US dollars again. Just like this car dealer will never have that same G-Wagon he has given you again. You have done a swap. You have separated. None of you will ever have what you've just given to the other. That is it. But now this company says, no, we are going to give it another approach. Instead of you taking your $100,000 to go and give to this car dealer, bring the 100,000 to our system. How? You are not coming to invest it in our system. No. Take the 100,000 US dollars, go to the exchange market, purchase Ultima tokens equivalent to that 100,000 US dollars at the price rate of the Ultima token. Once you are able to purchase 100,000 US dollars worth of Ultima tokens, what you are going to do is go to this dream car of yours. There is going to be a website for it, no doubt about it. So we are still waiting to receive more updates from the company on how this is going to play out. Once you go to the site, you follow the entire procedure, whether they are going to ask you to purchase a license, a contract, or whatever. That we are not yet into all of those details. But the main idea is that once you are able to get the equivalence of the 100,000 US dollars USDT's worth of Ultima tokens, you are going to freeze them. Once you freeze them against the package that corresponds to this G-Wagon, which is what you're interested in, then the system understands it or interprets it that you have purchased that particular G-Wagon. Then there is something that will be given to you, which is called gift points. They will give you these gift points, which is a simple code. It's just a code. Once you receive this code, This company is already in partnership or in affiliation with certain car dealers around the world. For instance, if you are in Dubai, let me take Dubai for instance. Once you receive the gift points, which represents a simple code, you simply need to go to the company in question. Once you present that code to them, they will simply check in their system. Once they verify that particular code, that automatically means you are the owner of that G-Wagon from that moment. And that is it. You just got a car. It's going to be delivered to you through the company. It depends on how the negotiations, how the terms are going to be negotiated. Because the delivery too, it might vary from one country to another because the custom policies are not the same. They are not unique to all the countries in the world. Now, that is just one part of it. The second part of it is that 3 years later, the ultimate tokens you have frozen against this particular G-Wagon you have bought will be unfrozen to you. Means that you get all of those ultimate tokens back. You can decide to take all of them, go back to the market, sell them again, and then recover your original 100,000 US dollars, which you actually made use of to purchase the package in the first place. So you've gotten your money back. So you can refer to that as a cashback system. So in essence, at the end of the day, you got a car for free. You didn't spend anything because what you invested inside returns to you 3 years later. But it doesn't return just like that. It returns with a compensation. And what is that compensation? Is the car that you have gotten. Now the question is, what if at the time you were purchasing the ultimate tokens, the price of the ultimate token was at $10,000? By the time you are getting them unfrozen to you, that's after 3 years, the price of one ultimate token has moved from $10,000 to $50,000. That means what you are going to be getting in return, what you are frozen, what will be coming back to you will not be just the exact amount you put inside, but will be giving you either 2x, 3x, means that a multiple of 2 or 3 or even more. So you see how you are always on the advantage on both sides. I don't know if any of you has ever come across any company that had been able to put in place a service like this one. Because for me, I don't know. This is the very first one that permits people to get any kind of their dreams through this simple exercise. You are simply freezing coins. You are not giving coins to the company. The company doesn't need your coins. Simply freeze them in your wallet. Nothing leaves your wallet. Everything stays there. After 3 years, everything is unfrozen, but you've gotten the product. And make no mistake, this is about to get started. It's not going to be long from now. February is not far from here when this program is going to be officially launched. Now, this is where the joker is. Like I said, I was going to tell you how this is going to push the value of this coin up or upward. Now, assuming that we have 10 persons line up and each of them wants to have a G-Wagon, and the G-Wagon normally costs 100,000 US dollars. So if you have 100,000 US dollars multiplied by 10%, that gives you $1 million, which means $1 million in USDTs is going to be sent to the exchanges, and ultimate tokens worth $1 million are going to be removed from the ultimate or from those exchanges because people are going to make use of them to purchase or to freeze against these G-Wagons. Now, I just limited it to 10 persons only. There are other cars that people will be interested in, like the Lamborghinis, where the truth is that all ranges of cars is going to be possible for people to buy their own dream cars of different ranges. It depends on your budget strength at that moment. Now, the only challenge you may have is to raise the initial amount of money to put inside. But the truth be told, you are going to get it back 3 years later. So the only assignment you've got is think out of the box. How are you going to generate the money? There are some people who go to the bank to take loans, because they know fully well that 3 years later, they're going to get everything back. But I'm not asking anybody to go and do that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that that's what some people will do, which tells you that with an opportunity like this, there are multinationals that will get in. There are corporate entities that will get in. There are big companies, giants, big guys in the market that will get into this space. Once they get in with these huge amounts of money, that's liquidity. They pump, you see how they will empty all the exchange. That's why the CEO said some time ago, if you still remember, he said, they are going to make it in such a way that the licenses can be purchased using what? USDTs and not ultimate tokens. Why? Because if they allow only ultimate tokens to be used for the purchase of all of this, then the risk is that at some point, the markets will be completely emptied of ultimate tokens. Imagine an exchange where you go there to purchase ultimate tokens and you meet just one person selling, or you don't even see ultimate tokens there. Everything has been taken away. what do you think the price of the asset is going to be? It will fly to the moon. And if it flies to the moon, it might become very difficult for new persons to join the community. But if that is going to happen when the community is already around the neighborhood of 100 million, which is the company's target, then it's a good thing. But if it goes that high, when the community is just about 6 million or 7 million, then it's not a good thing. That's why the CEO needs to moderate all of that. So you need to bear all of that in mind. Now, like I already did a lot of explanation with regards to how the car program process is going to play out. But again, there are other details that we don't have them as of now. The company is going to be making them available to us in due course. So like I mentioned earlier, before now we had what we call the CAS program version 1.0. So right now we are talking about the version 2.0, which is now running on a new blockchain. And let me also remind you, for those of you also who have been following up in recent times, we are about to have a new blockchain system, which is going to go by the name Ultima blockchain. So they are trying to create or render Ultima a full-fledged token. So Ultima is going to be a full-fledged token on its own, and it's no longer going to be a dependency on the smart blockchain for it to keep bearing the name Ultima token. However, the Ultima tokens that are presently on the smart blockchain are going to stay there. They will continue to stay there as tokens. Means that they are not the owners of the smart blockchain. The smart blockchain is owned by the smart coin, or the smart coin is a native cryptocurrency of that blockchain. So with the ultimate blockchain coming into being, we are going to have now the asset or the mother coin that is going to be the ultimate coin. It's going to be a full-fledged coin. Now, what is the advantage? The advantage with that one, that is why, I don't know, some of you might not actually be seeing things from the same perspective that most of us are seeing. If you are very wise right now, my brothers, my sisters, listen to me well. If you are very wise, do everything possible to get the highest quantity of Ultima tokens you can afford for right now. Why am I saying so? By the time the Ultima blockchain goes fully operational, which is going to be taking place in a couple of weeks, as per what the CEO said, all the transactions on that blockchain are going to be accompanied by what we call transaction fees. And those transaction fees are going to be paid in terms of Ultima tokens again. That should already start telling you something. First of all, the Ultima tokens are not even in sufficiency. We have a maximum supply of just 100,000. It's extremely very small. And then every transaction that you are carrying out, there is still going to be a portion of it that will be taken out as a transaction fee. What does that tell you? That the level of reduction is going to be extremely very high. Give me a second, please. So, bearing all of this in mind, your focus for now should be on the Ultima blockchain. Now, when you are dealing with a full-fledged coin, it is more advantageous than when you are dealing with the Ultima token. Unfortunately, that is something that most of us in this community have not understood, because a lot of people, in fact, there have been a lot of dissenting voices in recent times, talking about the CEO being in error for trying to substitute the smart blockchain with the Ultima blockchain. Now, let me try to explain something to some of us who might not actually have a clear understanding in this. It is very difficult. It is extremely very difficult for a token, to be very competitive in the world of cryptocurrencies. For a token to say it wants to be one of the mainstream cryptocurrencies, in fact, seeing itself even as the #1 cryptocurrency in the market is extremely very difficult for a token to do that. If you really want to be that competitive in the market, like to argue the first position with BTC, for instance, you need to be a full-fledged coin to be able to do that. Go and check it. Check the record. The mainstream cryptocurrencies that we have, volatile cryptocurrencies. I'm not talking about stable coins. I'm not talking about stable coins here. I'm talking about volatile cryptocurrencies. The mainstream ones, BTC, for instance, Ethereum, those ones are full-fledged coins. Solana, which one? Name them. Go to Coins Market Cap. The first 10 of them, they are all coins. All of them are full-fledged coins. And that is why they are doing very well in the market. You will not find any token among them. Meaning that all of them own their own blockchains. And then we cannot be expecting Ultima, which is a token now, referred to as Ultima token, to go and run the same competition with coins which are, or rather with assets which are full-fledged coins. There is no way a token can survive that company. It's very difficult. It's not like it's impossible, but it is extremely very difficult. The company understood that. That's why they decided to say, no, if we really want to run this race with these other mainstream cryptocurrencies, then we have to render this one a full-fledged coin first. That's the first point. That's where they need to start from. That is one of the reasons that gave the company the impetus to want to develop an ultima blockchain, to have what we call an ultima coin. It will maintain the name, no doubt about it. But the one which is on the smart blockchain will continue to stay there as a token because it is a foreign coin on that blockchain. But now we concentrate all our energy on the one which is a full-fledged coin. Because like he said also in one of his outings, we shall have the possibility to move from the ultimate token on the smart blockchain into the ultimate coin on the ultimate blockchain. There shall be a possibility for that movement also, or that there shall be some form of conversion. There shall be a bridge that will link these two. So we are all still in business with both. So that is something also that you need to understand. Now, very important, how to get started with this Ultima DeFi. Somebody after listening to all of this says, okay, how can I be earning Ultima tokens every blessed day for a lifetime without necessarily bothering to go to the exchange to go and buy from there? If I don't have money to go and buy Ultima tokens from the exchange, let me rather buy a technology that will be producing the Ultima tokens for me every day for a lifetime. How do we go about that? Simple steps. The first thing you've got to do is, whoever spoke to you about this business or who you refer to as your potential upline, you have to make use of the person's referral link. Get a referral link from the person. Create a free account for yourself on the DeFi website. Once you do that, the next thing you'll be expected to do is buy an entry-level package. These entry-level packages are actually referring to the technology I mentioned. Once you purchase this technology is like a machine that you are buying. It's a software that you are buying. You want to make use of this software so that through the software, you will be earning what? Daily fractions of this Ultima token for a lifetime. So once you're able to do these two things, first, create a free account. Secondly, purchase a booster package, which is a combination of a license and a contract. Then this is the last thing that you'll be expected to do, to be claiming daily rewards. You will just sit there, relax, and just be claiming rewards every day by just clicking on a simple button. And you'll be claiming what? You'll be getting Ultima tokens every day for a lifetime. Now, which are these various entry-level packages? For now, we have just two entry-level packages for now, because these two are still operating on the smart blockchain. But now that the company is still trying to fine-tune certain things on the new blockchain that's about to see the light of day, that is the Ultima blockchain. In the meantime, the company is supposed to have a product present that is community members can be making use of. That's why they decided to create these two packages and keep them on the present blockchain so that people can be making use of them just to keep the system busy, because the company cannot just allow the system like that without any product for people to be keeping themselves busy. Remember, one of the objectives of the company is to expand its community. And the only way you can get to do that community expansion is through a product. It is through this product that you bring new people in. So we have only these two that have been listed on the present blockchain, which is a smart blockchain. So if you want to purchase, you can either purchase this one, Little, or you purchase Air. Now, what is so special about this one? What is unique about these two? Simple. If you are interested in this package, which is called Little, all you've got to do is spend the sum of 220 euros. These 220 euros that you're going to purchase this package with is going to fetch you what we call the license and the contract. So everything integrated into one will be taken care of by these 220 euros. If you're interested in this package, which is called Air, then you're going to spend 550 euros. Now, what is the difference? Very simple. And just before I give you the difference, I would like to mention the fact that we are currently in a promo period. There is an ongoing promo. Now you can see it described by all of this. Meaning that on a normal day, meaning that outside the boundaries of the promo, if you purchase this package, the maximum capacity that you get is 0.01. But now within the context of the promo, the company says for the same amount of money, the same 220 euros, instead of getting a limited capacity of 0.01, we are going to give you an extra capacity of what? 0.09. That represents a total of what? 1,000%. So you are going to spend this amount of money and the capacity you're going to get is 0.1 instead of 0.01. But I said this is within the context of a promo. And the promo is going to expire, I think, either tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. It ought to have expired, but there was an extension put on it simply because the ultima blockchain, which is currently under test, or which is undergoing a testing phase, is not yet available for the companies to start running the other products. In other words, there are bigger packages to these ones, but those bigger packages will only be run on the new blockchain. That is the ultima blockchain, which will be seen the light of day pretty soon. So what is the advantage? The advantage here is that if you purchase yours now, with just 220 euros, you will get this capacity instead of this. But by the time the promo goes to the end, then everything will come back to its normal capacity. Like this one will come back to 0.01 for the same amount of money. Means that what you pay for, that's exactly what you get. But for now, what you pay for, you're going to get 1,000% on it. Look at the capacity here, 0.1. That's the advantage. You must bear that in mind. Now, same applies to this one. For you to get this one, it suffices for you to spend 550 euros. Instead of getting 0.025 as capacity, you're going to get what? 0.25. That is the advantage if you get it within the context of this promo. So you've got to bear all of this in mind. But make no mistakes, please. Make no mistakes. It's not because I said to purchase this package, you need what? 220 euros. Don't think that if you have 220 euros now, you can walk into the back office and then you purchase it using the euros directly. No. This one is just a value which is indicative. It's just an indicative value telling you that if you want to get this package, you need to go and fetch for ultima tokens worth 220 euros. That's what this 220 euros mean. So you are getting ultima tokens which are equivalent to this. Just like you get ultima tokens equivalent to this one also for you to be able to purchase this package. I told you earlier on that the company is now accepting its own currency. It's making use of its own currency. That is to tell you the amount of value that the company puts on its own currency, accepting it also as a medium of payment for products and services. So it's very important that we bear that in mind. And like I said, in the next 1 or 2 days, this 1,000% that we can get right now is going to be dropped down to about 900. Meaning that once that period is over, instead of you purchasing for 220 euros worth and getting 0.1, you'll be getting something below 0.1. Maybe by then you'll be getting 0.09 for the same amount of money. And it will also be like that for a certain number of days. So they will keep doing that reduction systematically till the promo is completely out and everything comes back to the normal capacities. So you have to bear all of that in mind. Now, let us talk about the benefits. What are the benefits of purchasing booster packages? For instance, if you purchase a certain booster package, what do you gain from it? Number one, for purchasing it, because to purchase it simply means you are going to freeze ultimate tokens against it. The word purchase here does not have the same connotation or the same interpretation as purchase in the context of you getting to exchange your money for somebody's product or a service. No, the interpretations are not the same. When I say purchase here, it simply means you are freezing your coins against a product or a service you are interested in. But now, since we are talking about entry-level packages, if you are interested in a package, all you need is freeze the quantity of ultimate tokens that the package actually requires. Once you do that freezing, for simply freezing against such a package, the frozen ultimate tokens will be fetching for you every day new fractions of ultimate tokens for a period of 1 year and even beyond, because it's possible for you to keep doing that beyond 1 year. Now, which means at the end of 12 months, when I say 1 year, I'm actually referring to 12 months. It might not necessarily be the calendar month, but just count 12 months, that's counting from the day the purchase is done. 12 months later, those coins or those tokens, ultimate tokens, which you have frozen against such a package, you will have the possibility to unfreeze them. That's if you want. But if you don't want to unfreeze them, you can continue to allow them there and they'll continue to fetch more income for you, more fractions of ultimate tokens daily also for you. So once you do your freezing, be rest assured that those frozen tokens will remain there frozen for 1 full year. That is concerning these two packages. This is only unique to these two packages, notably Little and the Air. But for the other bigger packages that are going to come on the Ultima blockchain, once you do such a purchase of a package on that system, all frozen Ultima tokens will stay frozen for 3 years minimum. But on this smart blockchain, we have these two packages. Any freezing done on it will stay valid for just 1 year. And after 1 year, you have the possibility to unfreeze them. That's if you want. If you want to unfreeze them, you can only do that after 12 months. That is the first advantage. The second advantage is that once you purchase the package in question, you are going to get what we call booster splits, 3.0 to be very precise. Those booster splits, you can actually withdraw them and you activate them inside your smart wallet. Once the activation is done, those booster split also will be fetching for you daily fractions of ultima tokens. Number 3, for staking those ultima tokens against such a package, you are also going to receive what we call a certain quantity of Battle Bull game coins or game points. Those game points, you can migrate them to your Telegram for those of you who are Battle Bull game players. You can migrate them to your Telegram account, or you can delegate them to somebody else. That's if you are not even playing the game. You can decide to sell them up to somebody, or you give them to somebody who is one of such game players. He can use them to purchase what? To purchase new cards in order to increase what? His or her own earn per hour. To increase his or her own earn per hour index on the Battle Bulls game. And you know that one has a direct connection to the number of bull splits that such a person also shall have when doing the withdrawals. So it's absolutely important for us to understand that for purchasing a particular booster package, you get connected to 3 different delegated liquidity pools. The first one being the Ultima pool, the second one being the booster pool, and the third one being the Battle Bulls pool, what we call the bull split pools, simply. So those are 3. So it means for purchasing a package, you get 3 different sources of income. That's the advantage of using your Ultima tokens, freezing them against a package. And these packages are currently in a promo, like I just explained. I don't need to belabor that point again. Now, a major question most leaders usually come to me with almost on daily basis. I receive people who keep asking me this question: how much does one earn in a particular day? People will ask you, okay, if I purchase this particular package, how much will I be making one day? Or at the end of the month, you know, a lot of people have familiarized themselves with this issue of getting to invest with a platform and expecting payments on monthly basis as if it's a source of salary. There is no crypto company or crypto platform which is actually a source of a monthly salary, particularly for the fact that cryptocurrencies, notably the volatile ones in nature, are constantly moving upward and downward. So it is impossible for you to guarantee somebody a certain return on regular basis because of that volatility. Anybody who gives such a guarantee is definitely telling you indirectly that such a platform is a potential scam. It's just a question of time before such a platform will fizzle out of business unceremoniously. And in most cases, they fizzle out, leaving you dry. They don't give you any prior notice. So in our own system here, after purchasing a booster package, how do you earn or how much do you make in a day? That's what I'm going to explain now for you to understand, so that you'll be able to decide on the package you want to buy as well. It's absolutely important that you get this understanding. First, now this is how the whole thing plays out. When you purchase a booster package by freezing Ultima tokens, those Ultima tokens that you have frozen, they get reflected into something called a delegated liquidity pool, which could be called an Ultima pool. For instance, this is the Ultima pool. Now, where you see these black dots, this is actually representing different people who have been able to purchase different booster packages also by simply freezing Ultima tokens. Now, all those Ultima tokens have their images reflecting in this delegated liquidity pool, because like I said, all those Ultima tokens frozen stay in your smart wallet. And remember, the smart wallet is part of the blockchain technology. So everything is connected to this delegated liquidity pool. So the delegated liquidity pool is able to see the quantity of Ultima tokens that have been frozen by different people. So it sees the image of that in this pool. And then it has made in such a way that the Ultima tokens which are found in this pool, because it's a pool which is pre-filled, all the Ultima tokens which are found in this pool, they are made in such a way that this pool has a certain nozzle, or what they call a van. So this van has been opened in such a way that only a quantity of 5 Ultima tokens can come out of this pool every blessed day to be shared by all those who had frozen their own Ultima token pool. Now, a simple way to understand it, assuming that you have a loaf of bread. This is a loaf of bread that somebody has. If you have to share this loaf of bread to 5 people, it is true that each one of them, that's if you have to do the sharing equitably, it means that each one of them will have a certain portion out of this loaf of bread. If by tomorrow you now bring in 50 other people to add to the 5 people which you had today, means that the total number of persons has grown to 55 persons, and you have to share this same loaf of bread to all 55 persons. Do you think each one of those 55 persons will have the same size of the loaf of bread like one of the 5 persons had today? The question is no. Because the number of people who want to partake in the sharing of this bread has increased, it means that each one of them is going to have something smaller compared to what each of the 5 persons who received or who partook in the sharing of it today actually had. If you understand it from this angle, then you have understood exactly how this delegated liquidity pool works. That's just all about it. Now, to go into greater detail, to make you understand better, assuming that we are dealing with this delegated liquidity pool, this is how the payment is going to be done every day. I'm saying so that people are always asking, how much will I be earning every day? I'm trying to explain it for you to understand how you make money. How much do you make every day? That's what I'm doing now. So assuming that this particular day, if we consider that today is called day 1. If today is day 1, then assuming that you have up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 persons in different parts of the world who have been able to purchase Boaster 3.0 packages by simply freezing ultima tokens. Let's say there are 5 persons who have been able to do that. Maybe the first person, who is A, was able to purchase the one called Light. B purchased the one which is called Basic. C purchased Starter. D purchased Diamond. E purchased Medium. Different packages. Even though these bigger packages are not available as yet, just try to get the understanding behind. Please, who is working on? Somebody's writing on my screen. Who is doing this, please? Please stop writing on the screen. Stop writing on the screen, please. Now, each of these packages has what we call the split limit. Now, in this context, if you don't want to call it split limit, you can call it number of booster splits. Now, assuming that this person has up to 1 booster split, it's just an example. Like I said, this is not practical, so don't take all of this for reality. This one is just for demonstrative purposes, please. Now, this one has up to 15, this one has 5, and so on and so forth. Now, what is going to happen is, if at the end of the day, all of these people are able to withdraw this number of booster splits, let's say the total number of booster splits as of today stands at 5,049, meaning that there are 5,049 booster splits that have been collected today due to these 5 persons who were able to purchase these various packages. Now, how is the payment going to be done this particular day for each one of them? This is how it's going to be done. The system is going to do a division of 5 by the total number of booster splits that it is seeing today. So it will take 5 divided by 5,049 booster splits. That is going to give you, mathematically speaking, 0.000999 and so on. Now, what does that tell you? Even if this number here, this denominator, keeps increasing to 1 billion, the maximum quantity of ultima tokens that will be shared to everybody according to the number of ultima, or rather according to the number of booster splits that they have, is 5. So you must always take 5 divided by this, no matter what this amount represents. So if you do it at this point, it means that 1 ultima token, or rather 1 booster split, anybody among all of these people, anybody with at least 1 booster split is sure of going home today with 0.00099. In fact, this quantity of ultima token, this is going to be your payment for today, which means that this person here with 1 booster split, this is what the person is going to go home with today. This is a fraction in terms of ultima tokens. Now, the person who bought a package like Basic, which gave him, for instance, 10 booster splits, today will be going home with what? Multiply 10 by this quantity here. That gives this amount of ultima tokens. This is what the person is going to go home with today, corresponding to his 10 booster splits. The person with 3, multiply 3 by this quantity, it gives the person this one. The person with up to 5,000 booster splits, if you multiply it by this fraction, this is the amount of ultima tokens the person is going to go home with today. The person with 35 multiplied by this same fraction, this is what the person is going to make today as well. Meaning that if you add this one to this, in fact, if you do an addition of all of this, then the total quantity that would have been sent to the market by the system will not be above 5. The maximum quantity will be 5, which means that this is the quantity of ultima tokens that the system has released to its entire community, which at this point or at this moment is only made up of 5 persons, because there are only 5 persons who have purchased these packages as of now. It therefore means that if all of these people receive these various fractions of ultima tokens, the truth be told, not all of them will take their ultima token fractions to the exchange market to go and sell. Some people will take theirs and they will turn again and freeze them again to get more booster packages, which means at the end of the day, the quantity of ultima tokens that will go to the exchange market will be very small, which is already a good thing, because it is the quantity of ultima token that goes to the market that helps to define the price of ultima tokens that will affect everybody everywhere. Now, assuming that on day two, we now have up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 persons. Mean that on the second day, there's a 6th person that has joined the system and has been able to purchase a booster package also. The system also keeps track of all of that. Assuming that on this second day, it shows that following the new status quo, we now have a total of 7,475 booster splits in the system globally. What will be the payment distribution plan for this second day? The same thing. It will still take, the system will still take the same 5 ultima tokens divided by this new quantity that the system is now seeing in terms of booster splits, because somebody has joined the system, or maybe the old people were in the system. Some have decided to purchase new packages again to add to the previous ones they had. So the total number of booster splits in the system now during this second day is now 7,475. So we will still do the same thing. 5 divided by 7,475, which means that on this second day, anybody with 1 booster split in the system, it doesn't matter when you bought it, will be going home this particular day with this fraction of ultima tokens. That's how it is. Then for this one, who probably as of now has 12 booster splits, will now be going home with 12 multiplied by this. This one too is going to represent the person's payment for today. The person with up to 7,000, this is what the person will be going home with for today. Same thing with every other person, making sure that by the time we add all of this, the sum total will always give us what? 5 ultima tokens. Now you realize that with this particular method, it is impossible for the market to experience a dump. Why? Because the maximum quantity that can ever find itself in the market in one day cannot be beyond 5. And the truth is that this 5, which is shared every day, not everybody will take their fractions also to where to the market. Some people will decide to hold theirs in their wallets. Some people will decide to freeze their own quantity against other booster packages to buy more. Some people will take theirs to the exchange market. Some people will use theirs for different reasons. And then by the time the ecosystem goes fully active, where people can be able to make use of ultima tokens to buy products, to pay for services, and then benefiting from a discount, what does that tell you? That most of the ultima tokens, instead of them going to the market to be sold for USDTs, people will be able to use them to purchase products and services directly. That's how they prevent a huge quantity of those coins from finding themselves on the exchange. What is the consequence? Price growth. Because huge demand, small supply going to the exchange, what is going to happen to the price? It has to move upward. So this is exactly the answer to the question on the how much do we make per month. So in summary, there is no fixed amount of ultima tokens that you make every month pertaining to the purchase of any package. What you make per day is a function of the number of booster packages that this entire system would have received for that particular day. Then it will do a division of 5 ultima tokens by the quantity of booster token that it is seeing in the system for that particular day. I know somebody will be saying, okay, it therefore means that the more people join the system, or the more booster packages that are bought, the smaller will be the quantity of ultima tokens that I also will be making in a day. If you want to look at it from that perspective, yes, mathematically speaking, that is true. But that does not mean that what you are going to be earning per day is small. Why do I say so? Because you might have a small quantity of something, of a product in your hand. But what matters is not the quantity. What matters is the value of what that quantity represents. It might be small in quantity, but the value is extremely very high. That is the most important. For instance, I can decide to say, okay, I will give you 10,000 of a certain coin, and that coin is currently selling in the market for a price value of 0.001, and then I give you up to 10,000. And then I also tell you that it's another product. I can give you just 0.1 of that product. But that the price of that product in the market at the moment is 1 million US dollars. Which one will you choose? Of course, you go for the smaller product or for the product which is small in quantity. You go in for the one which is 0.1 in quantity, knowing fully well that the price of it is up to $1,000 in the market, than going for the one which is up to, let's say, 10,000 in quantity, and the price value in the market is 0.001. So that's why I'm saying that it is not really an issue that has to do with the quantity that you have in hand. It is about the value that that quantity represents. It's the same thing with BTC. Somebody who has 0.01 in BTC might be looking at that figure theoretically that is small, which is true compared to maybe 1, 2, 3, or 4, or whatever. But in terms of quality, 0.01 represents something extremely very big in dollars. That's exactly the same thing that happens here. Why is it like that? It's simply because for you to have an increase in this number of booster packages or this number of booster splits, it therefore means more booster packages also were bought. How are people able to buy more booster packages? It's simply because they also purchase more ultima tokens from the market, which they use in freezing against these booster packages. How did they get these ultima tokens from the market? It's because they met people who were selling these ultima tokens in the market. So it means that those who join the business first, they are the ones producing the ultima tokens. They will take them to the market. And since everybody wants to partake in the usage of this technology, there is no way somebody can get to buy any of these packages without, first of all, going to the market to purchase what? Ultima token. So that simply tells you that the more the booster splits that you see here, it is a reflection of the more ultima tokens that have been removed also from the market. And the more ultima tokens are extracted from the market, that simply tells you that it is a high demand that's been created against a supply which is probably constant or constantly reducing because of halving and all whatnot. What do you think happens to the price? The price definitely has to move upward. So if the price is moving far upward and you are left with just a small quantity of ultima tokens in your hand, by the time you do the mathematics, you will see that the small fraction of ultima tokens represents something extremely very big for you in dollars. So that is how we make money in this business. That's how you earn. Now, practical example. I don't know who has been writing all of these things on my screen. This is really terrible. Okay, I just hope people will be able to visualize and understand exactly what I'm trying to explain here. This is a practical example in somebody's wallet because you can do all of this tracking. That's one good thing with this wallet, because the wallet itself also is a tracking system. You can actually track the evolution of the number of booster splits that are found in the entire system from your smart wallet. For instance, here, it means that at the time this screenshot was taken, the total number of frozen splits in this wallet stood at 1,819 point this amount. Globally, it's not just, in fact, this business is not an African affair. It's not a European affair. It's a universal affair. Let me say it's a global affair. So this figure is actually representing a figure, that is a reflection of the activities of what everybody has been doing in the entire world, pertaining to this business. Now, the owner of this wallet, in this total amount of 1,819, the owner of this wallet, his own contribution inside this total amount is just 0.0, let me not say just, in fact, his own contribution is 0.048. This is the number of splits that he has been able to freeze, or the number of tokens that he has been able to freeze, in this particular pool, which is also going to be counted among this total, or counted in this total. Now, in this particular liquidity pool, the number of tokens that is shared is 5 ultima tokens every blessed day until halving. When halving comes, there is going to be a reduction in this one. Probably this one is going to it's going to drop down to about 2.5 or maybe 2. It depends. Now, in this particular system, if you want to know the number of ultima tokens that somebody with one full split in here is going to be going home with, simply divide 5 by 1,819. So if you do this division of 5 by 1,819, it therefore means that anybody with at least one split in this total number of splits will be going home with this fraction of ultima tokens, which is 0.002748. That's why you see it written here, price per one booster 2 split. So somebody with one full booster split will be going home with this fraction as per this day with this number of frozen splits globally. So somebody with one ultima, or rather one bull split, will be going home with this ultima token, which as of this time was representing what? $13.70, corresponding to the price of one ultima token in the market as at that time. But the owner of this wallet, what is his own quantity of splits that he had in all of this is 0.048. So if the person with one full split will be going home with this amount, he who has just 0.048, what will he be going home with? Simply do a multiplication of this quantity by this quantity. Then you will see his own quantity. This is his own quantity here. Now, if you do the multiplication of this one by this one, and it gives you something lesser than this, it simply means that the owner of this wallet has probably done accumulations of payments, daily payments for a certain number of days, which means that the total quantity that he had in his wallet as of this particular moment was representing 1.56. So that's the quantity that is representing his own contribution in this total, which is what? 0.048. So it's as simple as that. Now, for you to go ahead to do the claiming, that's if you want to claim, you can go ahead and you follow the procedure, the systematic procedure. I think there are tutorial videos already for that. Now, there are people who have been asking questions. Should we be claiming every day, or we can do accumulations and claim after maybe 1 week, 1 month? The truth be told, there is no clear-cut answer to that. You can choose to do your accumulations for several days and you decide to claim maybe after, I don't know, maybe 1 week or 1 month. You can also choose to be doing the claimings every day, provided you understand the advantages and the disadvantages also of each. It's not like one is so advantageous to the other. So you are the person who has to judge for yourself and then you take the decision. But the truth be told, each time you are doing the claiming, you have to burn what we call a gas fee. There's a transaction fee which is involved. And that transaction fee normally is supposed to be paid using what? Smart coins. But because the company has given us an incentive, that incentive is what we call energy. So they give you incentive in terms of energy that you can rather make use of it in place of smart coins for the payment of the transaction fee, on condition that you've done what the company wants you to do. So if you do it, which is you getting to freeze a certain quantity of smart coins, once you do that, you are exonerated from paying those transaction fees in smart coins. So they will give you that incentive, which is what they call energy. And you are credited with a certain amount of energy every passing day. In function of the number of coins also, smart coins are very precise, which you would have frozen in your smart wallet. So the truth be told, the quantity that you want to cash out or that you want to claim as reward every day is also going to define the quantity of energy that you are going to burn also for that particular day. So if you accumulate more coins, also make sure that you have enough energy that will permit you claim all of those coins. That is a disadvantage of keeping your coins accumulate in your account for several days before withdrawing. So if you keep it there for several days before withdrawing, make sure that the energy level that you have is sufficient enough to cover that transaction at the time you want to claim. But if you have not frozen enough coins to be able to produce enough energy, please go ahead and do your claimings of rewards every blessed day to make sure that you stay within the confines of the energy limit that you are given per day, without which you are going to run into trouble. That is where the difference actually comes. So if you understand these differences well, then you'll be able to take the decision for yourself on whether to claim every day or to do the claiming after a couple of days for those who want to be compounding or those who want to be accumulating, sorry. So if you understand all of that, then the decision on whether to claim every day or accumulating is absolutely yours to take. Now, this one is a comparative analysis made between the old technology which we had, which was a minting farm, whereby the more the community keeps growing, the more the community is expanding, the more coins also that were being produced and sent to the market. The risk that we face with this particular technology is that at some point we get caught up by inflation. We get to experience a market situation whereby the supply becomes bigger than the demand. And the consequence is that is a collapse in the price. That is what we suffered from in the past. That had to see the company transitioning to the present status quo, or to the status quo that we have now, which is a splitting technology. With the splitting technology, the higher the community, or rather, the more the community keeps expanding, the smaller the quantity of coins that an individual can be able to be in possession of. That's number one. Number two, as time passes, the coin being deflationary in nature, the quantity of coins also that are shared to the community also is dwindling, you know. So this actually helps us in such a way that the more people come in, the smaller the quantity of coins in people's possessions. And the smaller the quantity of coin, that means the smaller the supply to the market against an ever-increasing demand. What is the consequence? Price growth. So you see how everything has been well calculated. Now, the network marketing component of this, unfortunately, I'm not going to dwell on that tonight because I think I've taken so much time in doing a lot of explanations on the, you know, certain key aspects of this particular business. I will just jump over this network marketing component aspect of the project and show and share something with all of us, because a lot of people have been making these mistakes almost on a daily basis. It's something on the smart wallet or in the smart wallet. I want to show you how to make use of your smart wallet. How do you do your smart wallet management? Most of you keep losing smart coins on a daily basis because you keep making certain errors. And you realize that once you make those errors, you will pay dearly using smart coins. So you find yourself keep running after leaders. Oh, I want to buy smart coins. Oh, give me smart coins. Donate smart coins to me. Or going to the exchange to buy smart coins. It's because you keep making those mistakes, probably because you do not know. So I'm going to be making an explanation on this. Now, first point. If you have installed a smart wallet for the first time, once you are done with that installation, you've gone through the entire process, means you've taken down your mnemonic codes and every other thing there is to take you, provided whether your passphrase or whatever, your PIN and every other thing. You are now here. Once you appear by default on this dashboard, this is where you first of all appear here. What you have to understand is, once you enter in here, there is no way you can make use of any of these wallets because you have sub-wallets inside corresponding to different assets. So there is no way you can, you know, make usage of any of these other sub-wallets inside. Without you, first of all, putting what we call a SIM card, is just like somebody who buys a phone. If you purchase a phone from the market, before you start making use of that phone, when I say making usage of the phone, meaning to make calls or to receive calls, you must put a SIM card inside. If there's no SIM card in that phone, you cannot make a call. Neither can you receive a call unless it's an emergency call from, you know, the telephone company. So once you insert a SIM card, you can be able to make calls and receive calls. That is the same thing that happens with our own decentralized application, this smart wallet. So once you install it, you have to insert a SIM card inside. What is a SIM card? The equivalence of that SIM card is what we call smart coins. So you are expected to put a minimum of 50 smart coins. Look at this, the information here. For instance, the person who actually did this installation, when he clicked on this ultima here and wanted to do something, this is the information that appeared. They asked the person that he has to put a minimum of 50 smart coins. That 50 smart coin is like the person who is inserting that SIM card in that phone. If you don't do it, you cannot make use of the phone to make calls. So if you don't have 50 smart coins also here, present here in this section where you find this 0 here, you will not be able to make use of the functionalities of this smart wallet. That is very important. By the time you are able to do this, assuming that you want to install other sub-wallets inside here, there's a procedure to follow. Most of you already know that. I don't want to go into those details. There are even tutorial videos on that. Now, that's not actually my main point of concern. I want to do this explanation using this practical example. These are screenshots of somebody's wallet, for instance. This person here, like you can see, these are the assets that he or she, I don't know who owns it, he or she actually has in the wallet, actually sum up to all of this. But now let us look at the various assets. You realize that this person in the smart section, the person currently has 140 point, this number of smart coins, which means that the person has fulfilled the first condition. In other words, the person has already inserted the SIM card, because the SIM card is inserted when you have at least a minimum of 50 smart coins here. That means the SIM card has been inserted. You can make use of the phone. In other words, you can make use of this smart wallet now. So if you check here also, you realize that currently the person has a certain quantity of this ultimate token asset, notably 0.003558, which in dollar value, in dollar equivalence, represents 26.13. Now, the person probably has other sub-assets inside and so on. That's why if you do a summation of all the assets that the person has in here, it gives you a total of this 32,457.58. But make no mistake, this does not mean that This dollar value here is representing assets that you can sell in the market now and you cash them out for money. No, there are some of them that are only indicative. For instance, if you are frozen, let's say, gold splits. Now, they will show you the equivalence of the gold splits in dollars, meaning that assuming that the gold splits were listed on an exchange, then you could have the possibility to go and sell them there on the exchange, and you have that equivalence in terms of dollars. But there are most of these splits that have not been listed on the exchange. So you can only see the dollar equivalences just appearing here, but that does not mean you can catch it up for money because you can't sell them. So it's important also to bear that in mind. But that's not actually my main point of concern. Now, once the person clicked on this smart section, this is exactly what appears. You still see this quantity of smart coins. This is it appearing here. This broader here in perspective. Now, look at this small section here. In your wallet, don't bother because you see it appearing in French. Normally in your own wallet, if it is English, that is the language configured there, then you see it written here, freeze. So when you click, my concern is here. Once you click on freeze here, the wallet is going to display this window. This is a window that will be displayed according to this person's wallet. This is how his own wallet, or rather his own window appears. Now, in his own window, you see the section for energy. What is the amount of energy? Please, you need to pay serious attention at this level because I'm about to explain something very important that has to do with this energy and bandwidth. Now, this is the amount of energy that the person has for freezing what quantity of smart coins. This is the total quantity of smart coins that the person has frozen. It is showing you 20,000. Now, this 20,000 here means that there's a certain quantity out of this 20,000 that the person had frozen for energy, and there's also part of this 20,000 that the person had frozen for energy. Now, this is it actually displayed here. It is more visible here. You see that the total amount is 20,000. So the person was able to freeze 10,000 for energy and 10,000 for bandwidth, giving the person a total of 20,000 smart coins frozen. That's what this 20,000 is representing. It's the same thing here also. It does not mean that the person has frozen 20,000 for energy and 20,000 for smart. No, that's not what it means. So corresponding to this, please keep your mics muted, please. So corresponding to all of this, the person's current state of energy is 82,403, which means that the person has the highest amount of energy that has been credited to the person. Now you will see this amount written 2 times. You see it written here. There's a bar here, and the same amount is written here. Now, this last figure behind here is simply an indicative value. It does not represent energy. It's representing the capacity, meaning that for freezing this amount of coins that the person has done, the maximum capacity or the maximum quantity of energy that the person can get is 82,403. Currently, the person has that full amount of energy. That's why you realize that when the person starts doing transaction, this amount of energy will be reducing. But this quantity here might still stay there. You still find the same 82,403 is not reducing. It's because this one is a mirror. It's simply representing the maximum capacity or quantity of energy the person can have. But the real energy is this one here. So when you're doing transaction, this is the one that is being burnt to cover up your transaction. Then the bandwidth that the person has at the moment stands at 1,861,221 or 232. So this one too is still representing the capacity of this one, but the real quantity inside as of now, like we see on the picture, is this one. Now, what I want all of you to understand is that please, especially for those of you who have several splits in your wallet from where you do claiming of rewards every day, please make sure, in fact, integrate this in your mind already. Before you wake up any day to go and claim any reward from anywhere, the first place you have to go there, I mean, the very first place you have to visit, you must, it's a must, that you must. If you don't do it, you will keep burning smart unnecessary. You see this smart here. If this person makes certain errors in this wallet now by doing certain transactions, whether knowingly or unknowingly, all of these smarts are going to be burnt as a penalty. So you pay a penalty by losing all of this smart. And if he loses all of this, then it means that the person has destroyed the SIM card in the phone. You will need to buy another SIM card and insert in the phone before you can start making usage of it. So before you go to claim anything, the first place you have to visit is this energy. Come first to this energy here. Normally, this person's maximum capacity is 82,403. So if this person visits this energy and sees that the capacity is maximum here, then the person can go back and maybe let's say the person wants to claim a reward from, I don't know, Ultima. Let's say you want to claim a reward from Ultima pool, and maybe you have to claim also from the Booster pool, maybe from, I don't know, the Legacy pool. Let's say you have about 4 different pools. Let's say you have about 4 different pools you want to claim rewards from. When you claim a reward, always make sure that you start with a pool that has the highest amount of reward that you want to claim. Always begin from the highest one. When you begin from the highest one, it will help you to control the level of energy so that you don't make mistakes and then you go and do something that will cost you these smart coins. So when you identify the pool that has the highest number of rewards or the highest amount in terms of rewards, begin with it. Once you first of all claim the reward from there, come again to this energy level, come to this energy, check again the current status. If you realize that what is left here under this energy section is less than half of this amount should be about 41,000 something. If you discover that you've done a transaction and what is left in terms of energy here is below that 41,000 something, please don't do the transaction again. Stop for that day. Don't do any transaction again to be on the safe side. Please don't do it. Know that you are done for that day. You will have to wait till the next day. Wait until the next day, so that this energy level will be replenished. Once it gets to the next day, you can go to the other 3, liquidity pools where you had rewards waiting for you to claim, and you start claiming. Each time you claim a reward from any pool, come back and control this energy level. And always do it in a descending manner. Always begin with the pool that has the highest amount of reward. That's what I've said. So if after doing a transaction, you realize that this one is not yet below half of this amount, then you can go ahead to the next pool and you claim from there. Once you claim from there, come again here and check. Once you realize that you've gone below half of this one normal, like I said, stop for that day. If you go ahead and insist, in doing the claiming, if that energy becomes insufficient to cover that transaction, look at the person that will pay the price. These your smart coins will suffer for it. The system will penalize you by burning either part of this code. This entire quantity will be burned completely. That means you've lost smart coins. You have to go again and purchase smart coins again to come and put here. Now, if you absolutely want to do that because probably you have a lot of uncertainty, this person with 140.5 something, please, this is another mistake also. Please, never you have more than 50 smart coins here. Never you put beyond 50 smart coins. Even if you have more smart coins, don't put them here for security reasons. Why do I say so? Very simple, I will explain. Assuming that this person has up to this 140.5 something smart, and the person failed to control his energy level here, and the person went ahead to do a certain transaction, which shows that the energy level the person had here was insufficient to cover the transaction, and the person is penalized. Like the person loses all of this 140.522. The person has a possibility of losing all of this. They will burn all of this. Whereas if this person had put only 50 Ultima tokens, then the balance, meaning that if you take 140 point this minus 50, allow just the 50 here, and then the difference, go and keep it, store it in another sub-wallet where you're not claiming anything from there. Keep it there. So much so that even if the system penalizes you for doing something here without controlling the energy level, at least the only coin that should be burnt here should be the 50 that you had here, which means that you have actually saved the other balance of smart coins. You can go there and simply take another 50 out of that reserve which you kept there, and you bring it and put it here again. Now you see that you've not lost all of these smart coins. You see how you are staying disciplined with your smart coins. So always make sure you keep just 50 here, so that if you are to be penalized, it should just be that 50 that will be taken away, rather than losing up to 100, 200, 300. That's how many leaders keep coming to me every night. I want to buy smart coins. I was about claiming this and that, and the energy level probably was not enough. I didn't know. Now they burn all the smart coins that I had inside. Why? Because you kept everything in here. So you have to be disciplined with it. Separate it. Make sure you have just 50 here, so that if things go worse, if things go sour, only 50 will be destroyed and the other ones will be reserved. You can go there to that reserve area, take another 50 again from there and put it here. So these are some of the mistakes or errors that most of you have been committing probably on regular basis. Maybe because you didn't have this knowledge. That's why Zoom meetings like this are very important. Now, does it also mean that if I have 4 pools to do claimings from on this particular day, and it shows that my energy level cannot cover the transactions that I'll be doing in those 4 pools, does it actually mean that I cannot actually claim from those 4 pools? Of course, it is possible for you to claim the rewards from all those 4 pools in one day, even without having sufficiency in energy. Without having sufficiency in energy. How do you do it? Assuming that your energy here becomes insufficient, you don't have enough energy. If you go ahead with the transaction, this is what is going to pay the steep price, your smart coins. If you have them here, they will be destroyed. So what you can possibly do is that if you absolutely want to claim from those pools today without necessarily having enough energy, the company has made it possible in such a way that you can borrow energy from somebody. You can borrow somebody's energy level. Maybe somebody who has enough energy and doesn't want to use it. Maybe the person is not interested in claiming any reward for that day. Instead of the person just keeping the reward in his or her account, you have the possibility to borrow the person's energy and add to your own. How do you borrow somebody else's energy? It's very simple. All you need to do is come to this smart wallet section, copy this smart address. When you copy this smart address, send to the person will copy the smart address, which you send to him, and then will enter into his own smart wallet, like you see like this. The person will come here. Look at this button here. Look at this button. Don't bother because it's written in French. In English, you will see it here. Delegate. It will be written here, delegate. So when you click on delegate, you follow the procedure. It will get to a point. When you click on delegate, it means that you're actually trying to lend your energy level to somebody. So once you click on delegate, even though before you see delegate, you have to pass through this button, which is called manage. Maybe you see this one appearing as manage. When you click on manage before you see the button delegate inside. Now, once you click on delegate, they will now ask you, what is the quantity of energy you want to delegate to the person whose wallet you actually have with you? Once you precise all of that, you follow that procedure, that is it. Once you validate, then that energy will actually go to that person. You would have given your energy to the person. And if you are actually the one to receive the energy, you just realize that your energy level here has increased. So you can now go ahead to make use of that energy to claim your rewards for that day. If the energy level goes down again, you can meet another leader, maybe your team member, borrow the person's energy if the person does not have use for that energy. Because the truth be told, every passing day, the energy level for everybody is replenished according to the number of coins or smart coins you would have frozen. Now, assuming that you had delegated 50,000 as energy to somebody, and out of that 50,000, the person was only able to use 30,000 out of the 50,000 as energy that you gave to the person, which means that the person is still holding a reserve of 20,000. From your own smart wallet, it is possible for you to recollect or to collect that 20,000 that is left in the person's wallet. You can get it back by doing what? By simply clicking on another button, which is called reclaim. You will all see, after you pass through this one, you see a button written on it, reclaim. Once you click on that reclaim button, it means that you are saying that the quantity of energy you delegated to somebody, if the person did not use all of it, whatever reserve is left of it, you want to get it back in your wallet. Maybe because you want to add it to what you have currently in your wallet to do a transaction. But if you are not interested in it, you can allow it. After all, the next day, your energy level is going to automatically get refilled. So it's as simple as that. Those are some of the precisions I wanted us to make. Now, these are some of the procedures. Now, for energy, you have to precise all of that. This one still gives a resume of what I just explained, all of this and so on. So, this is probably somebody here who has bull splits, and this person wants to claim the benefits corresponding to this bull split today. It could be any other bulls, or rather, any other type of split. Now, once you click on this bull split, these are the details under the bulls. This is the quantity of bull splits that this person had frozen here. So the person wants to claim the ultimate token reward corresponding to this frozen quantity. Now, after clicking on splitting, this is how the person's wallet display looks like. So it shows that pertaining to this wallet, the person had done an accumulation probably, I don't know. And this accumulation that the person had done corresponds to $4.05 as per the price of the ultimate token as of the time when this screenshot was taken. So simply clicking on the claim rewards here. Once the person does that, this is the new window that opened. And then the person simply needs to click on this checkbox. After doing that, it clicks on confirm. And that is it. The reward has been confirmed or has been claimed. Now, that reward which you've claimed, which is in Ultima token, where do you find it? Where does the claimed reward go to? Definitely goes to the Ultima section. Meaning that if you come to your wallet, if this is your wallet, simply come to the section Ultima. You will see that reward. Those Ultima fraction rewards that you've claimed, all of them will be accumulated here under this section of Ultima. So this is where you check them. So it shows that at the time this screenshot was taken, the price of one Ultima token in the market is 7,343. And this person has a certain quantity of Ultima tokens. These are them here. Pertaining to the price of one Ultima token in the market, which is this. This is the dollar equivalent of this person's own fraction as at this time. So it's as simple as that. So at this juncture, I'm going to stop here and maybe give room for questions for people who have questions to ask. In case there's something I said which you didn't understand, please, at this juncture, I'm going to give you the possibility to ask questions. So if you have a question to ask, please simply indicate through a hand show so that we should try to be orderly. If you have a question, just indicate through a hand show, please. Questions? Questions, any questions? Any questions, please? If you have any question, this is your moment. This is your moment for you to ask.
Yes, please.
Go ahead, leader. I'm listening to you.
Yeah, when do I know that my energy is depleted?
You can only know that by checking. You can only know by checking. And your energy can only get depleted when you would have carried out a transaction. And that's why I started by saying that before carrying out any transaction, always make sure you check this energy level first. Because the consumption rate of this energy level that you have here is proportional to the amount involved in the reward you want to claim. That's why I said, if you want to choose to accumulate your daily earnings, maybe to withdraw after 3 days, 4 days, 1 week, 1 month, depending on how you want to go about it, make sure that the total amount you will have on the day you want to claim, the energy balance that you have is enough to cover it. Without which, if the energy level is less or is insufficient to cover that transaction, once you initiate it, you actually see it appearing on your screen. Successful, withdrawal successful, but the withdrawal wasn't successful, but you will find that statement appearing. It will tell you that the process went through successfully, but you'll be surprised to realize that the rewards, the token rewards are still there. They have not left. And then if you go and check your energy level, even what you had there, which was insufficient, has been completely wiped off. You will now see 0 standing here. Then you go again to your smart section, you realize that even the quantity of smart you had there has been destroyed completely. That is the punishment that the system gives you because you didn't check the energy level to find out whether it corresponded to the quantity of Ultima tokens you had involved in the transaction. So always make sure that you check your energy level. That's why they were saying that the more coins that you freeze, the more energy that you have that can permit you carry maybe 1, 2, 3, or several transactions at a go. So for you to know that your energy level has dropped, this is where you check it. I just did that explanation a while ago. So you check it from here in your smart wallet. Simply go to the section smart, where it is written smart. Click on it. Once you click on it, you will see this section here that has this orange background or brown background. Once you click on it, it will be written, normally here it will be written freeze. Once you click on the button freeze, then this is the page you are going to see displayed. It will give you all of these details. Don't bother because this one is appearing in French. You will see yours actually appearing in English. Here you see energy. Here you see bandwidth. Here you see smart power. Now what is important for us is energy. This is what is important. So always check this one. No matter when you compare this figure to this one, if they are the same, it means that your energy is in full capacity corresponding to the number of smart coins you have frozen also. If you find that this one is lesser than this, it means that probably you have done certain transactions that actually got covered by, part of that energy. So you need to be watchful from there. You need to be watchful from that moment, because any wrongful move, this is what is going to suffer first. You are smart. Any smart that you have here. That's why I said don't always put beyond 50 smart there. I don't know if the question is answered.
It's answered. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Which means that I need to compare the figure in front and that behind and the one behind.
Exactly. Okay.
That was
Even if at some point, because there could be moment when maybe by default you could find that this one is not, the figure you find here doesn't represent the maximum capacity at all. You might find probably this one showing 41,000 and maybe this one showing 41,000. If you come across a case like that, it therefore means that you had delegated part of your energy to somebody. Whenever you do a delegation of your energy to somebody, this capacity here, you might not see it reflecting. Again, it will not be showing you something different. But if you don't delegate to somebody, you always see the maximum capacity that corresponds to the quantity of coins that you are frozen. That's what you actually find there. Then the only parameter you need to verify will be this one in front.
okay. Thank you very much, leader.
Questions, please. More questions. If there are any other questions, without which then we might probably have to call it quit for today. Questions, please. Okay, there's somebody who has just sent a question in the chat box. Says, powerful presentation. Please, I want to ask, how do company get turnover while the users freeze ultimas instead of spending their ultimas to get a product? Thank you. In other words, what they are simply trying to ask, in other words, is how do cryptocurrency companies make their own money? There are several ways in which they make money. Now, they can probably make money by creating products around their coin, making sure that they are the ones who are creating those products, and they can decide to sell those products to the community, in exchange for those same coins. That's just one method that a cryptocurrency company can use to make money for itself. Another method, which is very common to most of them, is the coins that you are freezing. It is true, those coins, the company has nothing to do with them. But now, what is the advantage? When you freeze those coins, instead of taking them to the exchange market, it therefore means that you are creating scarcity of the availability of the coin in the market. That's what it means. And if you are creating, because the coins you are freezing, normally they are coins you were normally supposed to take to the market. Meaning that if all of us had to take our coins to the market, then the supply in the market also will be very high. But for freezing it, it means you are preventing the coins from going to the market. And by so doing, the fewer number of people who take their own coins to the market simply means there is a small supply of coins in that market. Yet the demand for those coins is constantly increasing. Mathematics, basic economics, 101. When the price, because the formula is price, is equal to demand divided by the supply. If the supply going to the market is small because more people are rather freezing their coins, it therefore means that with the demand constantly increasing, what will happen to the price? The price will move upward. How is that beneficial to the company? Remember, the company also has its own ultima tokens. You think that they don't have ultima tokens as well? They do. And they want to sell their own ultima tokens in the market when the price too is extremely very good. So when the price is going up, they will have to sell their own ultima tokens at those high price values, which means that it also brings a lot of income to them. That is how they make their money. So the CEO will not be fighting every day to make sure that the price goes up just to favor us. No, if it is favoring us, we are going there to sell, to make money. He too will be selling to at the same price rate or that same price growth to make the same money that you and I are selling. Maybe the only difference between you and him is that he has probably the possibility of getting more of the ultimate tokens than you. That's the difference. Without which all of us can only make the money from where? From the exchange market. By taking advantage of good market conditions or good market situations in terms of price. I hope that answers your question. Any other question, please? Any other question? If there's no other question, okay, then I'm going to end up with this. This one is, in fact, it's a secret. It's a secret that I want to share with all of you. It's a secret that I'm sharing with all of you now. Most of you probably don't know it. Maybe because you don't have maybe substantial knowledge in portfolio management. You see, this issue of portfolio management is something many people face a lot of difficulties with. But now, let me just share just one of them. I will share just one with you guys tonight. Just one. Now, if I were you on this call right now, I don't want to spend time to be asking individually how many wallets, how many smart wallets you have. How many smart wallets do you have? I know a good number of you probably have just one smart wallet. Means that when I say one smart wallet, I'm not referring to the smart wallet application. I'm not referring to the app itself. Because remember, in one app, you have the possibility to create even 1 million wallets. You can create 1 million wallets within one app. So what I'm asking is, how many of those wallets do you have in that single app? Maybe some of you have just one. Some might have two, some might have three. Now, this is what you can possibly do. It's not a financial advice. You can choose to do it your own way. But what I want to tell you is this. If I were you, in fact, let me say what I have done. If you get inspired by what I have done, you can decide to replicate the same thing. Now, what I did is, I have three wallets, within the same app. You have wallet 1, wallet 2, wallet 3. Now, with wallet 1, let's say, for instance, let's say I have up to about 8 different splits, whether gold splits, royal splits, legacy splits, bolster splits, all of those ones. Let's say I have up to 8 of them. What do I do? This is the way I do the reasoning. I say out of these 8 splits, I'm going to share them, probably not equitably. I will take 3 splits and activate them inside wallet 1. The next set of 3 splits, I will activate them inside wallet 2. And the next quantity of splits, I will activate them inside wallet 3. Now, this is what I tell myself. All the splits that are inside wallet 1, all the rewards that I will be claiming from all of them, even if they tell me that heaven is coming to an end, or that the world is coming to an end tomorrow, everything that I claim from there stays in that wallet till the next 3, 4, or 5 years. Even if they tell me, even if today I go to the exchange and realize that the price of one ultima token has gone to 100,000 US dollars, nothing comes out of that wallet. Everything that enters inside stays there till after 3, 4, or 5 years. That is what you tell yourself. Number 1. Then the second wallet, the splits which are inside, all the rewards you are going to get from there, you tell yourself, anything that comes out from this one, I'm going to use it again to buy more splits or more packages in the system. Means that you want to compound in the system, then do it from the second account. All right. So like I was saying, sorry for that interruption. Like I was saying, from the second wallet, if you want to reinvest in the system, every reinvestment should be coming out of the proceeds gotten from the second wallet. So once you get anything from the second wallet, you are interested in buying another package or in doing something again, like you want to plow back in the system, let it come from that second account. Then in the third account, please, this is the part that many people usually don't do. And that's why they always have issues with Alex, is because of this part. Trust me, if you do this one, you will hardly have issues with Alex in person. Now, you tell yourself, what comes out of the third wallet, no matter what happens, even if they tell you that the heaven is going to meet the earth the next day, tell yourself that the moment you claim any reward from that account, even if the price of one ultimate token in the market is $1, go immediately with it to the market, go and sell. In fact, don't bother about it. Don't look at the market price. Once you receive something from there, go straight to the market, go and sell it. Don't try to say, no, let me keep it, let the price appreciate it. Don't do it. If you are withdrawing it today, even if you are told that the price of one ultimate token will go to $100,000 tomorrow, and the price at the moment is just $50, my brother, my sister, go to the market, sell it for the $50 where you are now. Sell it. Tomorrow, what do you get tomorrow? Sell it also at the price you will find tomorrow. Why am I saying so? I'm saying so because, remember, Alex is a human being, just like every other person. He might have the best vision. He might have the best intentions, but again, he doesn't know what tomorrow holds. Something can happen to his system, which is beyond his control, which is beyond our control. Now, if such a thing happens, let's say, okay, for instance, when we're dealing with a minting farming system, the price of those of the PLCU asset collapse in the market. We'll see the only person who caused that. Did he know that at some point something like that was going to happen, despite the advice that he was giving people? Do not do this, do not sell below this. If he knew that something like that was going to happen, or that the community was not going to heed to the advice, maybe he would have thought of something else before us even getting to that particular period when that thing happened. But like I said, he's a human being. Sometimes you will never foresee what is ahead. So let it not be told in a story someday that somebody was able to invest in a business, made huge returns from there, and because of greed, kept compounding, kept applying everything back in the system because the person wants to build a good portfolio. Of course, it's a good thing. We are not saying that it's a bad, but don't do it in a foolish manner. Let it also be told in that story that even though he was compounding, but at least he was able to eat something. He was able to recover something from it. Even if the person was not able to recover everything, but at least you should have that part of the story which says that you were able to withdraw also something from the system. If something is happening, don't be in a situation where you lose everything. No. So for you to be able to make this work, you have to be this disciplined. Do this distribution in 3 phases. You can even decide to do it in 4 phases. Somebody might decide to have 4 wallets. You say, okay, I will put this there, put that one, put this one, put this one. This is what the first wallet will be for. The second wallet will be for this purpose. The third wallet will be for this purpose. The fourth wallet will be for this purpose. If you are that disciplined, if you do this distribution like this, trust me, you will hardly have issues with somebody because you were very focused. You were very disciplined. It's absolutely important. Well, like I said, what I'm sharing with you guys is what I have done. If it sounds convincing, or if it sounds interesting, or if it sounds logical, or if it makes a lot of sense to you, you are at liberty to do the same thing. You might even do better than myself. That is part of portfolio management. Like I said, that is the only one I'm going to share with you people for tonight. There are other strategies. There are other things also. Maybe we'll get to have another Zoom session like this in the days ahead, or also be sharing other strategies with you guys. Remember, we are in the same boat together. It doesn't matter how much you have lost in the system for the old members. We are no longer at that level. Because I used to see a lot of people putting up, very tense arguments, this and that. Everybody is at liberty to express their anger. Sometimes for somebody to be able to let go the anger, the person needs to say it. The person needs to say it to somebody to listen, even if it's not the company listening. But in the course of you saying it, you liberate yourself, because it's not also good to stay with anger in you. It's not a good thing as well, because it drains you in a whole lot of ways. But the truth be told, after expressing all of that, we always need to come back and start making use of our common senses. Because most often when we express anger, our common sense leaves us. When we are done expressing the anger, the common sense comes back. So by the time you are putting on your common sense again, make sure that you keep doing what you are supposed to do. Now, in cryptocurrencies, remember again, there are no guarantees on timelines. That's one major disadvantage with cryptocurrencies. There are no specific timelines for rewards to be gotten. You can only do what we call predictions. That's why they refer to the asset as a speculative asset. Everything is speculative. You can only get to rely on some components or on some indicators that can give you to a sustainable degree, a certain level of assurance that this thing is going to work within this period to this period, but nothing is guaranteed. That is why I want to end this Zoom session by saying that please, on no account, should you go to any bank or credit union or wherever to go and loan money to invest in a cryptocurrency platform, please, never you do it. Even if you want to do it, make sure that what you are borrowing to invest inside is something you are capable of dealing with the outcome. Assuming that tomorrow things turn sour, are you able to cope with the sidekicks of that or with the downside of it? If you know that you will not be able to put up with it, for instance, if you don't have another source of income that you can use to cover it, do not go in for it, please. Always invest what you are capable of dealing with the consequences, assuming that it turns out in the market is very important, please. On the other hand, always make sure that you have a mentor. Make sure you have a mentor in the crypto space, somebody you look up to. maybe for advice or whatsoever, before you take any major step. I'm saying so because we are currently in the bull run. Trust me, there are many people who make money in this bull run, just like there are many people who will lose money in this bull run. Because remember, if you are making so much money, it means there are some people somewhere who are losing that money that you are making. It's not like the bull run is printing money. No. The money you are making as profit is money that has been lost by somebody else somewhere. So be careful, because tomorrow it might be your turn to lose the same money to some other person. So don't think bull run is a place that is, or is a period that is coming to compensate everybody. No. The crypto space does not print money from anywhere. So you have to be careful. Always make sure that you have a mentor who you work closely with, who should be able to tell you, okay, this is the period that you can be able to do this, but always keep a watchful eye on this or on that. Somebody should be able to give you those kind of guidelines. If you don't do it, don't just invest in a coin because somebody has told you, oh, go and buy this coin. It will do well. It will do 10x, 100x. And that's because many people usually purchase those kind of coins. They just allow on the exchange, thinking that it's going to perform magic on its own. When it shall be time to sell those coins, there might likely be nobody to tell you that, okay, that coin which you bought, go now and sell. The price is go and sell. That period might come and pass without you knowing. And then by the time you go to the market to sell, that peak value at which you were supposed to sell had already passed. You will now go to the market and sell, and you get peanuts, or you eventually lose. So the important thing is not just investing in a coin, just buying it. It's about buying, knowing for how long you are supposed to hold, and knowing when exactly you are supposed to go to the market to sell. But with Ultima, all of these guidelines have already been integrated. In fact, all of these things are integrated in its technology. That's why it has an exceptional technology. The 5 golden rules of cryptocurrencies have fully been integrated inside this splitting technology that we are dealing with. That's why a lot of people will find it difficult to lose money in this system. It will be very difficult for somebody to lose unless you are somebody who has actually made up his mind or her mind to lose money in the system, without which will be very difficult. If you follow the instruction, follow the principle, there is no way you can ever get to lose money in this system. It's as simple as that. All right, I think I've actually spoken too much at length. If there is no other question from whoever, maybe I can just give 1 minute each to some of the leaders that are on the call with me tonight. You just have to say something in maximum 1 minute, not beyond 1 minute, because we have taken so much time. I don't know, is my upline here? Leader Godwill, are you here? Leader Godwill, are you on the call? I was supposed to be doing the Zoom presentation in harmony with him, but for some reason he had a challenge, and he was supposed to meet me here in the course of the presentation, but he would appear he's not on the call as yet. All right, I'm going to give the pride of place to another leader whom I'm able to identify. If I don't call you, probably it's because I wasn't able to identify you, probably from the device name that you're using. Madam Trifine, I saw you somewhere here. If you're on the call, please, you have the floor. Maximum 1 minute, please. Say something to our community, maybe observations, or maybe you want to buttress a certain point which I made earlier.
Yeah, greetings everyone, and thanks for your patience. Thank you, leader, for the wonderful presentation that you offered us today. You gave us great understandings. I just want to encourage each and every one of us to keep following details of this company. Never lose track, because when the happiness comes, it's something that is uncontrollable. I heard a leader who was asking a question there about how the company makes its own money. And I responded in the chat saying, let's not forget that we sell cheap in the market. And when we sell cheap, who is buying? By the time we are selling, we are putting fear in ourselves. We are running away. And some other people are busy buying. So we must not forget that question. Who are those people who are buying? Yes, traders are buying. But the company also
The company
is
also
busy
buys
buying
too.
at that
They
time.
buy also very cheap.
At that
That's
time,
true.
very
Go ahead.
cheap. And they are going to accumulate it. So when they accumulate it and then the price rises, they sell and make triple profit. So my advice here is for us to learn to hold on to our coins. That's how cryptocurrency works. It can be growing up, it can be depreciating. Let us hold on to, because the very next minute can change a lot of things in our lives. I've experienced the time I was trading Bitcoin. The day I sold Bitcoin at a low price, it didn't take up to 1 hour. The price started escalating. You can have I don't know, you can be sick in situations like that. So let's hold on to our assets, and the best is yet to come. Thanks to everyone. Thank you, leader.
Wow, thank you so much for that input, leader. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was very, very, very brief and concise. Okay, I can see also
I don't know, it's a friend.
Crypto Mama. Crypto Mama
Andy.
for me. Yeah, Andy. This is one of my leaders also.
This is
Hi, Len,
massive.
you're on the call. Are you there?
Wow, this
He's
is
also
massive.
a powerful leader in this business
Massive.
that I know.
Hey. Thank you so much. Extend appreciation a million times over. I should give my mother a happy new year. Amen. Oh, amen. Say amen. I'm so grateful. I'm gonna say
Ma
the whole
Florence.
person is woke.
Leader Florence from Douala. Madam Florence, are you there? Leader Ramses, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. If you have any input also to make, you can do it also in few seconds. If you have any.
No, actually, I don't have any input. I came very late. I just entered the call now. So I don't have anything to say now.
All right.
I just want
That
to
is
say
great.
it was a wonderful presentation where I met, and you touched a lot of things that are so important for us all to take note of. That's just all I need to say.
All right. Thank you for that. Thank you for that contribution. All right. Fellow leaders, it was a pleasure having you all on the call. I hope you were able to learn a good number of things. Probably in subsequent calls, we might try to be very precise. We'll give other precisions on other aspects of the business. The business is actually very broad. We can't exhaust everything about it in a single day. But hopefully in subsequent editions, we'll get to touch other aspects of the business that have not been touched today, particularly in the area of the network marketing component of it, and in the area of balancing of legs to be able to move up the rank ladder and so on, because people still have a lot of issues also in that area. So maybe in the next Zoom presentation, I'm going to teach you also how to balance the 3 legs, how to do the legs balancing, how to position leaders on your legs that will permit you to be able to grow faster in rank. We might probably have to do that some other time, and maybe many more. All right, thank you so much for keeping the faith. God bless you all. Take the rendezvous for next time. It shall be announced. You shall be kept in the know on when we are going to have our next call.
Thank
Once
you.
again, from this side, so long. Have a wonderful time. God bless you. Good
Thank you.
night.
Same to you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, leader.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Amazing.
Your chest, you could beat the world, the war. Dr. God go on his stuff. If you burn your hands up, you beat the clock. To move around, to rape rocks. You can be a master. Don't wait for luck. Dedicate yourself and you can find yourself. Oh,